pleasant good morning, everybody. Welcome to Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU FM 90.7 in Peoria and also on YouTube. Good morning to everybody watching and listening to us on YouTube. This is Breakfast with Roger and Friends, and that includes Terry Chamberlain. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning.
And John Meisinger as well. Good morning to you, John.
Good morning, Roger. How
Good
are you?
to see you. Fine, fine. You had a little electrical disturbance at your plantation?
Yeah, at the plantation.
Was that yesterday?
You got to pay your bills, Roger.
Yeah.
Yes, it was yesterday. We had everybody over.
For a big Father's Day event.
For Father's Day after
Wonderful.
church, and we had some breakfast and we enjoyed ourselves, and everybody left around 2:15 or 2:30, and about 3 o'clock power went out.
Do you know why?
That's all I remember.
I know you sent me an email or a text message saying that you lost power. Why did you lose power?
Well,
Did a tree fall on?
A tree was damaged and caused this outage. I have no idea where it was, but it affected 1,100 customers.
Wow, 1,100
Yeah,
just in your area.
Yeah, according to what the email or the text said. You know,
From Ameren?
From Ameren, yes. You know, when you report it, you can sign up for text.
Oh, really?
Updates.
I didn't know that.
So we kept getting
So
updates.
you was power eventually restored?
Yeah, after we went to bed.
Yeah.
So, which was fine,
Well,
except for
yeah.
the fact that I didn't get a lot of time to do sports because, you know, I normally do those in the late afternoon on Sunday because that's when things are
Sure.
done. So I've got a little bit here.
All right. Well,
So
the most important thing is, did you have a good Father's Day celebration?
Oh, it was wonderful. Yeah, it was wonderful. Got a lot to eat. You know, breakfast stuff, and a couple of casseroles.
Oh yeah, you can't beat casseroles.
Then we had we had some coffee cake. We had some stuff from Prefskers, donut holes. You name it. If
You
it
had
was
it,
sweet,
yeah.
we had it, and brought in a.
Oh, praise the
bit there.
praise the
Yeah,
Lord
thank
for
you.
your
Yes.
party.
But I didn't have you get seconds. We just figure we were Trefskers during the weekend, so we
Yeah.
thought we
You
better
can't
bring
go
something
wrong.
in. Nope.
Yeah,
Even with
well, that
donuts.
was wonderful.
So yeah, it was a good time. How about you?
Yeah, had a good time. My son and his wife came down. My other son is teaching at Ashland College in Ashland, Ohio. He does it every year for a week. He is a lecturer on U.S. history, and so he was out there. But the other son, the younger son, came down, and we had a little get-together, and then he got in his Yugo and drove back to Bettendorf, Iowa. But I was busy over the weekend. On Saturday, I got persuaded to go with Kathy and her granddaughter to the zoo. And that was a stress test. Have you been to the Peoria Zoo lately? I mean, they've got a trail. First of all, it's not a smooth trail, except for the wooden planks that they have to go visit the giraffes. Other than that, everything is hilly, and it was a stress test. I'm not kidding you. I hadn't walked that much and that high, that long
That's tough.
since I was 26 years old, I
Wow.
think. Yeah.
10 years ago.
Yeah. And so that was stress number one, and then that was on Friday. That was Friday. And Saturday went to a wedding in Eureka, which was very nice, but it was outside, and they had a rock step system to go down to the area where the wedding was outside. And I thought I was back to climbing Mount McKinley. Going down wasn't bad,
Yeah,
but going up was a different story. And a young guy walked past me and said, I know you're taking time, but he said, so am I. He said, this is kind of hilly. And that kind of made me feel good. He was like saying, I know you're struggling, old timer, but
So am I.
yeah.
Make you feel better by saying this, whether I am or not.
whether he was or
Sounds
not.
kind.
So, you know, I decided I'm not going to exercise. Usually I get on the treadmill for a half hour every day. I'm not going to do it for 6 months now. I figured that what I did over the weekend qualified for whatever. Who was the guy, and I don't know whether he's still alive, that was kind of flaky? he would do exercises.
Richard Simmons.
Richard Simmons.
Yeah. Is he still
No,
alive?
he died.
Yeah.
From what? Over-exercising?
No.
No, okay. At any rate, yeah, I know, exactly. So that's what I did over the weekend.
Hope you didn't dress like him.
No, I didn't.
Okay, good.
How about you, Terry? You're busy getting ready to officially. Well, you are already in your.
I am already
mom's
moved.
house,
I'm still
yeah.
cleaning stuff out, getting it ready for sale though. And yesterday I did big project, vacuumed
you?
the whole downstairs. And,
Oh, really?
and
Good for you.
got my rug shampooer out.
Did you shampoo the? No kidding. That's
I did.
that's a
That's a
major
job.
accomplishment.
Yeah, it was.
Did you sleep well last night?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know, as good as those shampooers are, it takes a lot of physical energy to get the job done because it's not like vacuuming
No.
or shampooing. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, how's it look when? now
It
that
looked
you've-
good. Now the big
Yeah.
test will be when I go back today and see how it dried out and looked good. But the toughest part was cleaning my machine. It had all this stuff, other gunk in it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you get that
Before
gunk?
you started?
No.
After you got done, okay.
And then how did I get this gunk out? And I've got pins, and I wish I had my pipe cleaners. That would have helped. And I thought, you know what? Take it out. Hey, I bet the hose would work.
Yeah, the hose probably did.
So I
didn't
hooked
it?
up the hose and put it on my jet stream. And
Got it.
It did. Like this,
And,
it was awesome.
And I'm sure you unplugged it while you were.
Oh yeah, because I had to take it outside.
Yeah,
So
okay.
yeah.
Well, not only that, I didn't want you to light up like the neon sign.
No, my hair would be much curlier this
Or
morning.
Marquette Hotel, for that matter. Well, we all were busy then.
It was a
Praise the
busy
Lord
weekend.
for that.
Yeah.
I got a phone call last night from our grandson who's coaching in the Northwoods League, and he got thrown out of his first game. And so he gave me the play-by-play.
This wasn't his first game. But
No,
he got
it
thrown
was
out
the
for
first time.
The first time.
The first time. And he kind of gave me a blow-by-blow account of the battle with the umpire. Apparently what happened was his player hit a pop-up, I believe, on the infield down the first base line, and the runner ran into the fielder. I assume that the fielder caught it, but at any rate, the umpire called out runner interference. He also threw the player out of the game. It was so happened it was Chris's best player. And he went out and said, okay, you can call him out, but throwing him out, well, he said he did it deliberately. And he said, how do you know he did it deliberately? And so they went out of it, at it, and I can't use any of the words my grandson told me he used in the game, but he lost and was thrown out of the game.
Well, I wouldn't want Chris
Yeah.
coming at me, yelling at me,
Yeah.
would you?
No,
No,
I was
big
going to
boy.
say that umpire had a lot of intestinal fortitude because Chris is 6'5", 245, 250, all muscle, and having him in my face is not something I would look forward to.
Who would?
Yeah.
Who would, right.
But I said, well, welcome to the field of managing a baseball team.
Yeah. Well, it's good experience.
Yes, it is. It certainly is.
And it didn't hurt him.
Well, we got a lot of news to report this morning, as we normally do, so let's get into it. We'll start with the weather, and the weather this morning is brought to us and brought to you by Spoon River Home Health, making a difference in the lives of our clients since 1993. And they're wonderful people providing skilled nursing to bathing and personal care. And you can reach them for more details at 309-245-0723. Well, guess what? We have a flood warning that continues. We've been reporting it now for a week for residents and businesses on the Illinois River for Peoria, Tazewell, and Woodford counties. We're at 19.8 feet with flood stage at an even
18.
Very good. Go to the head of the class for that. Very good answer. We could reach how many feet by Thursday, Smarty Pants?
86.
What is it?
20?
I'll bet
20. Yeah, 20
Yeah.
point. Close enough for the class, and
Thank you.
you can all go out on recess now. Weather-wise, it'll be sunny today with a high around 77. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 55. Tomorrow sunny and 79. Pretty nice weather we've been having.
Really?
Wednesday sunny with a 40% chance for afternoon rain. A high Wednesday 80 and Thursday sunny and another 80 degrees. Right now our temperature at 59. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's your live weather report. Meteorologist Kyle Varnold will provide more details during our 8 o'clock hour this morning, if not sooner. Now with the news, here's Terry.
And despite the ceasefire and the 60-day memorandum of understanding with Iran, all is not well in the Middle East. Hezbollah terrorists killed 4 Israeli soldiers and 5 others were wounded in multiple attacks in southern Lebanon. Airstrikes by Israel killed 18 people and injured many others.
President Trump's still hopeful to bring an end to the war with Iran. It appears Iran has hopes as well, as they sent an unprecedented team of negotiators for talks in Switzerland. The team includes security, legal, and financial experts, along with senior oil and energy officials. Team USA, I like that's what they're calling it now, consists of Vice President J.D. Vance, Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner. The two countries held talks for over 10 hours yesterday, and they have resumed today. Good luck.
Republican Senator Lindsey Graham is predicting the talks will fail, and Trump will resume bombing Iran while taking control of the Strait of Hormuz. Graham applauded Trump for trying a diplomatic solution, but believes Iran will not surrender their rights to enrich uranium with a goal of eliminating the Jewish population of Israel. That's what Jewish Fox TV commentator Mark Levin said last night on his show. Levin is calling for complete regime change.
And some breaking news this morning. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has resigned. The Labour Party leader has been under pressure to quit due to his open borders policy, that sounds familiar, and alleged anti-Semitic comments.
It was a big opening for the President Barack Obama Presidential Center in Chicago last week. We'll get an exclusive report about the ceremony held Thursday from former Congressman Ray LaHood at 7:30 this morning. LaHood was on hand for the event, attended only by those who were formally invited.
Over the weekend, Chicago police report the shooting deaths of 7 people and the wounding of 36 others. Associated Press defended the shootings by saying crime rates in the Windy City have generally dropped over the past few years. Oh, really? 192 people, listen to this, 192 people were murdered in Chicago in the first 6 months last year. To date, 182 this year.
Oh, a lot better.
With 8 days to go.
How do you think of those 182 people?
Yeah, how do you think they think it
Yeah.
dropped?
Wow.
But that's the typical Associated Press.
Tomorrow night, Peoria City Council members will discuss a proposal from the Peoria Police Department to hire 6 unarmed community service members to patrol the downtown area at an annual cost of $500,000. The personnel would have no police powers, and no weapons, and no authority to make arrests. They would, however, monitor potential trouble spots and incidents.
And they could yell, "Citizens arrest!
That's
Citizens arrest!" Like Gomer Pyle on Andy Griffith. Interesting. A fire last night in a house in the 3300 block of Bella Vista caused about $20,000 damage. An adult, 2 children were able to leave the home safely. The fire started when a tree fell. This might sound familiar to you, John. Downing power lines that ignited siding on the home.
National and local media outlets are blaming Donald Trump for problems with the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool on Washington's National Mall. After years of neglect, the president ordered the complete renovation of the pool. It cost $14.7 million, and 2 weeks later, the water changed color and paint started peeling. U.S. Attorney Jean Perot said vandals poured corrosive chemicals into the pool, causing the damage. She said police have made several arrests. Media, such as ABC, said the problems were caused by poor workmanship and blamed Trump.
Well, of course. Donald was the one who painted the pool and threw the I don't know, algae.
Through the acid,
they're making the water, which was a cesspool, until Trump said, "Let's clean it up," and now it's a major media incident.
Well, that's because he had the people who worked on that into the White House.
Yes.
If you remember that.
Yeah.
So he had them all in there. They had a great time there.
Yes.
I'm sure. But obviously do a lot of damage just by pouring a little bit into
Yeah,
something.
ask anybody who's had
Or
a swimming
fountain.
pool.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
we know. All right, that's a look at some of the stories we're following now. More news from WCBU, brought to you by Kyle Varnold, providing personal and business insurance for auto, home, life, and health. Kyle works with multiple carriers to find the right policy at the right price for individuals, families, and businesses. Kyle's available at 309-682-0519. That number, once again, 682-0519. Now we turn to WCBU for the
From the
latest.
WCBU Newsroom, I'm Ryan Denham. There are a few items in Governor J.B. Pritzker's legislative wish list that did not pass this spring, including a measure that would impact how the state regulates gambling. Mawa Iqbal has more.
Lawmakers adjourned last month without considering a plan to merge the Illinois Gaming Board with the state board that regulates horse racing. The Gaming Board oversees casinos, video poker, and sports betting businesses. Both boards currently host open meetings, but Pritzker's proposal would have taken the combined agencies' discussions behind closed doors. His office says it's to, quote, improve efficiency, strengthen accountability, and ultimately better serve the public. But the Sun-Times reports House Speaker Emanuel Chris Welch questioned why it's needed and says there is no appetite from the Democrats to act on it immediately. I'm Mawa Iqbal.
Illinois lawmakers have passed a bill stopping public universities from meddling in news coverage by media outlets that are based at the university. Democratic State Representative Sharon Chung of Bloomington was the main sponsor.
By putting this in statute to just make it very clear that the university administration can't sort of decide what can and cannot be covered, to afford these extra protections to their full-time staff.
The bill also protects public universities from lawsuits that are against public media organizations. Governor Pritzker has announced more than 400 pharmacies in Illinois will receive $25 million as part of an annual funding approved last year. Capital News Illinois reports that funding will help pharmacies at risk of closure or under financial strain, focusing on rural and low-income communities. In Peoria County, 6 pharmacies, and in Tazewell County, 3 will receive funding. Tickets for the September Beatification Mass for Archbishop Fulton Sheen and related events are available starting this week. Bishop Louis Tilka says the Mass for Sheen is a historic moment for the Diocese of Peoria. The events are part of an official Sheen pilgrimage, and he encourages area Catholics to participate. The Mass is scheduled for 2 p.m. on September 24th at the Dome at America Center in St. Louis. You can find more news at wcbu.org. I'm Ryan Denham.
Okay, Ryan, thanks. Let's turn to John Meisinger now for the latest from the world of sports, brought to you by Ameren.
Not brought to you by Ameren today.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's kind of
This
hard to do.
condensed version brought to you by Reddy Kilowatt.
That's right. That's why I miss Reddy.
I do too. You remember when he used to dance on the side of the
Dance
building?
on the side of the building and show you the time and temperature, or
That was
whatever the
neat,
case
yeah.
may be.
And wasn't he also on the building at Liberty and
I
South
think he ran
Adams?
across that.
Yeah.
I streaked, if I recall. In the 70s, they made him streak across the
No,
building.
no, that was the mayor. Who
Dick
was
Carver?
streaking. Yeah, Dick Carver and Michael O'Brien.
Yeah, okay. Well, that was a while ago.
Yeah, sure was.
In Major League Baseball yesterday, the Tigers beat the White Sox 5-4. The Cardinals beat the Royals 12-10. How'd you like to go with that game?
Boy, I watched part of that game, and that was like the Chinese magician on
Not
too long.
It was a slugfest. The Cubs postponed their game.
Well,
Good
that
move
that
on
was
their
good
part,
news. They
yeah.
didn't lose.
No, but yeah, that's true. The Phillies beat the Mets 6-2. The Reds over the Yankees 4-1, and the Brewers 9, the Braves 4, and the Pirates over the Rockies 8-6. Well, the Peoria Chiefs were rained out yesterday in a scheduled game with Dayton. Peoria returns to action in Beloit on Tuesday. That would be tomorrow, taking on the Skyharp. That begins at 6:05 p.m. The Americans advanced to the knockout round of the World Cup without their injured star forward, beating Australia 2-0 on Friday for their second straight victory and expanded the 48-team tournament. The U.S. then won Group D when Paraguay beat Turkey. That's how you spell it now, right? Turkey. 1-0 early Saturday morning. The U.S. plays Turkey at 9 p.m. on Thursday. You know why they changed the spelling of the name, don't you?
No.
Because if you were to type in Turkey on a Google search or the first thing it does is goes to the turkey, the bird. And so they did that so that they type in turkey, Turkey, then their
I didn't know
country
that.
comes up. At least that was the story that I heard.
Well, one thing I've learned about using AI is you can't hesitate asking the question. You've got to have it written out, or at least read it very quickly or very briefly, because it will jump on the first few words.
That's correct.
That's good, John.
Thank you. Ferne Moore is leaving Richwoods High for an Arizona prep school. PJStar.com reports that the sophomore announced on social media that he won't be returning to Richwoods for his junior year. That's next year. He's headed to Sequoia Pathfinder Academy in Buckeye, Arizona.
Interesting. What sport are we talking about?
Basketball.
Basketball.
So now they've lost 2 of their starters from last year.
Do you think there's some
Elite Eight team.
money being exchanged, or is this just an effort to refine his basketball skills?
Well, I would imagine this is the new thing to do. You go to a basketball school, and then you come back.
Well, it
you
might
know.
be paying high dividends.
It might think about it when they go to
Long-term.
college,
Yeah.
and they could play for a.
And they start
big-
waiving the
big team.
NIL money.
That's right. Yeah. So I think that's what a lot of people are looking at. So we just keep juggling players, and they kind of keep going in and out.
I know years ago, and I won't get too definitive, there was a youngster, and the father kept moving him around to different schools, I guess to whoever made the best offer.
What a
But
great
I don't
offer.
think it was remuneration or financial. It was just to ensure that he was a starter and was the key player on the team.
Well,
I don't know if you remember who
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Probably
but,
do. Might have been there when it was happening,
became
too.
somewhat of a, I would call it a family embarrassment, to tell you the truth, because there was a lot of criticism of manipulating the son around.
Well, I have had parents that have come in and said, "What can you do for my son?" When
You
I was a
have.
principal, yes. And I said, "Well, give him a good education."
Good for you.
And what else can you do? I mean, we don't have money to pay him. We wouldn't do that anyway. As a matter of fact, and the second line was, "And you need to live in our district."
Yes.
So if
And
you're
we-
planning to do that, you better move.
And we
because
know
we're
there
gonna
were
check.
at least a couple of families that bought apartments or rented or leased apartments so that the student who really wasn't living in that district, that area, could attend that school.
Right, and that's happened more than once, and I could probably name quite a few myself, but I won't do that.
No.
Because it's not.
We have not yet retained Kevin Sullivan
No, don't. We
as
won't need
a
to.
paid
Nah.
legal representative for Breakfast with John and Terry.
Yeah, that's right. Which would be a quiet breakfast because nobody knows how to run the machines. Well, and finally, it was discovered that a North Valley man has been using.
You lost me on that one.
North Valley man has been using a rare Mick Jagger record as his frisbee in his greenhouse. Officials have reminded him people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
I like that. Now, I will tell you, I frequently drive through the north end of Peoria, and there used to be a sign at the corner of Spring and Monroe that was sponsored and called the area there as the North Valley. That sign is now gone.
Oh, what did you do with it?
It's in my backyard.
Was there really a sign that said North Valley?
The North Valley Homeowners Association.
Wow.
And you know where that, a little history, where that started was at the Peoria Journal
Right.
Newspaper. They started naming certain areas of the north end of the city, and I talked to, I will say, a representative of the newspaper. I said, tell me where the North Valley begins and where's it end, and he couldn't do it. And he said, well, it's just in that area around Morton Square and North Adams. And I said, that's interesting. I said, you know, I was born, raised, and educated for the most part, at least through high school, in that area, and at least where we lived. It was formerly known as Averville. And Averville was a township similar to Richwoods. You remember when Richwoods was a township and it was annexed into the city. And interesting story, my dad had a barber shop in Averville, and he said it became very heated. Those who were in favor of annexing to Peoria and those who were against it. And I said, what position did you take? And he said, I took the position in support to be annexed. And he said, I lost a lot of customers as a result. I said, why didn't you just not take any position? And then he said, I would lose both. He said, you know, so it was a no-win situation.
He counted when they raised their hands. He got the biggest group.
Yeah, that's right. And any rate, and a couple of times he got clipped for it.
Oh, that's good.
That's terrible.
That's good.
Hey, I want to talk a little bit. Let's see. According to 1 clock, it's 14 minutes before 12 midnight,
well, I'm
or is
tired.
it 14 before noon?
It could be. Either
And-
one, right?
Yeah.
You pick, but that second hand's not clicking very quick there. Just jumping up and down on the 9,
Yeah.
right underneath it. So
You know, we have 3 clocks on the wall. One east, west, and what's that? North.
north, that would be probably
And
north.
each one has a different time, and I think that's to help people, regardless of what their position is, to know at least 1 clock supported what they are. Because that one is what the one behind me. What time is it saying?
So 6:26.
And this one says 14 to
Well, we know
12,
that much off.
and that one's 6:28 for that matter.
So you
And
pick
I've
which
got
one you want to go by.
And then the one on the commuter is
6:27. So it's
6:27.
between these two, right?
And my watch is 6:29. And what's yours?
6:27.
See, everybody marches to a different drum beat
Well, that's
for that matter.
That's true.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about this idea, and it's an interesting, novel idea about unarmed community service members patrolling in downtown Peoria. And before we do that, why don't we just bring you up to date with our news, and then we'll chat with that. Don't go And our news at the bottom of the hour this morning, brought to you as a service of Morton Community Banks with over 50 branches across central Illinois, and they offer a full range of personal and business banking services. Hometown banks, FDIC insured, so your deposits are safe. Look for the clock tower and you'll know they have time for you, and we have time for the news with Terry Chamberlain reporting.
Despite the ceasefire and the 60-day memorandum of understanding with Iran, all is not well in the Middle East. Hezbollah terrorists killed 4 Israeli soldiers and 5 others were wounded in multiple attacks in southern Lebanon. Airstrikes by Israel killed 18 people and injured many others. President Trump is still hopeful to bringing an end to the war with Iran. It appears Iran has hopes as well, as they sent an unprecedented team of negotiators for talks in Switzerland. The team includes security, legal, and financial experts, along with senior oil and energy officials. Team USA consists of Vice President J.D. Vance, Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner. The 2 countries held talks for over 10 hours yesterday and will resume today. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham is predicting the talks will fail, and Trump will resume bombing Iran while taking control of the Strait of Hormuz. Graham applauded Trump for trying a diplomatic solution, but believes Iran will not surrender their rights to enrich uranium, with a goal of eliminating the Jewish population of Israel. It was a big opening for the President Barack Obama Presidential Center in Chicago last week. We'll get an exclusive report about the ceremony held Thursday from former Congressman Ray LaHood at 7:30 this morning. LaHood was on hand for the event, attended only by those who were formally invited. Over the weekend, Chicago police report the shooting deaths of 7 people and the wounding of 36 others. Associated Press defended the shootings by saying crime rates in the Windy City have generally dropped over the past few years. 192 people were murdered in Chicago in the first 6 months of last year. To date, 182. However, there are 8 days to go. Tomorrow night, Peoria City Council members will discuss a proposal from the Peoria Police Department to hire 6 unarmed community service members to patrol the downtown area at an annual cost of $500,000. The personnel would have no police powers, no weapons, and no authority to make arrests. They would, however, monitor potential trouble spots and incidents. And those are the headlines, Roger.
All right, let's get into a look at the weather, brought to you by Steve Singh, Certified Business Intermediary with PHX Affiliates. Steve is a business broker. He's been doing it for over 20 years now, and he's sold businesses large and small. And he also is well-known and utilized quite a bit for business valuations. So that's an area for business owners who are thinking about what's my business worth. He can tell you. You can receive at 309-696-8508. John has the weather.
Yes, I do. It's a flood warning continues for residents and businesses on the Illinois River for Peoria, Tazewell, and Woodford counties. We're at 19.8 feet. Good sailing depth.
Oh, you used to sail, didn't you?
Yeah, I
Sailing,
used to.
sailing.
That's right. At least I can get out and could get out and do
Yeah.
things.
You did sell your boat, did you?
Sold it, yes. And somebody
well,
else is
good.
enjoying it right now, I think.
Right now, this very moment,
Maybe
you
not
think?
at this very moment, but sometime.
Did you sail on what is known as the Peoria Lake?
That's correct, yes.
Do you have any idea the distance between Peoria and East Peoria at the Ivy Club, which is where
Right.
Peoria Lake is, right?
Yes, I think it's a little over a mile.
Ooh,
And,
that long.
mile and
Wide.
quarter, mile and a half wide, yeah.
And what's the depth?
Well, depending
about
on where you are.
12 feet?
12 feet at, 12
Yeah.
feet at the channel depth is, but
Yeah.
everything else is 12 to 18 inches deep, all the way out.
Inches.
Inches. Yeah, not feet.
Wow.
Yeah, so it made
What's the thing that's in the thing?
The
in
buoy?
No, underneath the sailing, the sailboat. Is
oh,
it
the
a
keel?
Keel,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I had a 4-foot keel, fixed keel.
It was fixed.
Yeah,
Some
so it
you
doesn't-
can move the keel
Well,
up or down,
you
right?
you could still move part of this one from the inside. Would come down at what we refer to as a dagger board, and it would come down to almost 8 feet. So if you were sailing in the lake or whatever, Lake Michigan, and you needed a little more.
But the Illinois River.
Yeah, the Illinois River, you did
Was there
certainly-
sometimes when you were sailing, when you would suddenly come to a
Well, if
bump
you're
in the road, you might say.
That's true. If you're sailing and you have full sails, you can be fooled because those sails will stay full and you won't move. So
Oh,
you're looking at the
really?
sails and you're looking at, wait, we haven't. Nothing's
We
moved
have-
on shore.
We haven't moved,
We haven't moved. So yeah, that'll definitely happen, and we have done that.
and more than
Yeah.
once.
And
yeah.
it's hard to get out of that situation.
I was going to say,
because
when you get stuck in the
into it,
mud,
you're stuck.
you're stuck.
You're stuck, and there's no going backwards unless you have a very powerful motor.
You know, that does remind me of the sinking of the Columbia, and I don't think it actually sunk, but it came close to it when it was, and my mom was on the Columbia 2 days before it sank. It ran aground, and the captain of the ship, instead of staying there because of a tree stump, as I recall, he backed up, and when he did, he ripped open a big hole, and that's what
That
led
filled the
to
under part of the
yes,
boat. That's not good.
no,
That's not good. Well, anyway, we're still at a flood stage at, about 18 feet is flood stage, but we're at 19.8. We could reach 20.2 by Thursday. That would be nice. And then it'll start going back down again. Weather-wise, it'll be sunny today with a high of 77. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 55. Tomorrow, sunny and high of 79. Sounds like a beautiful day. Wednesday, sunny with a 40% chance for afternoon rain, which we need desperately. High 80, and Thursday sunny and 80. Currently, it's 59 degrees, and that's your live weather report. Meteorologist Kyle Varnold will provide more details during our 8 o'clock hour.
he sure will. Have you noticed how green your
Oh, it's-
lawn is now?
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's just
I've never
awesome.
had our lawn look as nice as it does right now.
Yeah.
So
And we've had, but you can water it with Illinois American Water, or in your case, water from Brimfield or Kickapoo. I don't know where your
Still
water
get the
comes
same
from.
water you
Okay. But Mother Nature is,
Oh, it's way
its
better.
water is
Yeah,
water is supposed to be.
yeah. Well, we had put up a pergola. I think I told you this about a week ago or so, and it is a fabric that is waterproof, but it's kind of translucent. You can kind of see through it, so you get these little drippings of water. But what happened was, it rained so much that it started to collect, and I had water about 6 inches deep in that. Yesterday I was constantly outside with a broom pushing it off to the side so that we wouldn't tear so
Yeah.
it wouldn't collapse. And finally it stopped raining enough that I could get out there and fold it up, but I told Tracy on Saturday, I said, I'm going to close this up because it's supposed to rain. She goes, oh, it should be okay. So I left it.
Oh.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
so
There was a time when people would collect rainwater in barrels and use it to water their gardens
Sure.
or flower beds, et cetera, and so forth. I don't see that happening much anymore. And I don't know why. Maybe just because it takes a little work to do that sort of thing. Well, let's talk about this idea that's been presented by the Peoria Police Department for consideration by the City Council tomorrow night, and that is to develop a corps, you might say, and they're talking about 6 unarmed community service members to patrol the downtown area. On paper, that sounds like a good idea. It sounds pretty expensive. If you divide 6 into $500,000, that's a pretty good payroll, and I'm going to volunteer to serve in that capacity because that's good money. The idea is, I think, worthwhile. Instead of spies from the satellites, in essence, you've got community members, and I worry about their safety, by the way. They have no weapons. I'm sure they'll have radios like, help! They're beating the crap out of me over here in the parking deck, type of thing. It's just, apparently, and I'm sure the new police chief, Brad Dixon, will explain the concept and the policy and what they're seeking to do with this is to have an eyes and ears in the downtown area to prevent incidents if they know that they, being the bad guys, are people watching them from afar or near or whatever. What are your thoughts, panel?
go ahead, Terry. I'd like to hear what you have to say.
I think that without any powers, it's going to be worthless. Like you said, for their safety, because people are going to eventually find out who they are. And it's like, okay, well, gee, they can't arrest us. They don't have any weapons. What are you going to do? Go be tattletales? And I just don't see it being very effective. Now, if they were actually police officers that could go up and, hey, you're causing trouble, and arrest them, then it would have some teeth. I just don't see this having any teeth.
Well, you both have talked about the same thing that I was going to say. I'm a little concerned for their safety if they aren't armed. And are they going to be uniformed? Or are they just going to be in street clothes?
Yeah, street clothes.
And just so happens that every time this person walks by someplace and all of a sudden the police are called, you think they're not going to figure that out?
Right.
I know there's got to be more to it, and so I give the benefit of the doubt until we hear a little bit more about how this is going to work. But, you know, that's almost like sending somebody out just to tell on people or to snitch. And that's concerning to me, but I like the idea. I almost like the idea of a beat cop better than this.
Ooh, good
You know what I mean?
suggestion, yeah.
But that defeats the purpose, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to find out things without being visible. I don't know. I know that there's a lot more involved than what we're just talking about here.
Yeah.
So
You know, a good question would be to ask, if I remember the city council, is is this an idea that you want to replicate from another town or city that implemented it, and can you tell us how it worked and how long it's been enforced? But you're right, when you look at the amount of money we're talking about, and you wonder whether or not an alternative would be what we had years ago, officers on a beat, on a patrol. I remember years ago, a police car would go through our neighborhood, maybe a couple times during the day. Is that an answer, instead of having people stationed at different locations in downtown Peoria, just to have a patrol car drive around the area? Another thought would be, instead of paying, and by the way, they would be trained, as I read the release, that they would attend some kind of an academy for a week or a few days, or get trained on what they can do and what they can't do and what they should see and not see, so to speak. Then it raises the question, well, how about if we took that $500,000 and posted cameras at key locations, particularly those areas that are trouble spots? And we know what the trouble spots are. Big Al's is one of them. The bars on Main Street, from Perry to wherever, Adams. So we know where the trouble spots are. The idea, however, we applaud, I'm sure, is let's make downtown Peoria a safe place to be.
Well, I also look at the type of person that they would get. How about an Eddie Parker type person?
Yes.
And he wouldn't need to necessarily be in a uniform. He could be street clothes guy and just walk and talk to people. And you know how he is. He's very lovable and likable. Yeah, and you know, people would know that he's and maybe that's the kind of thing that they're looking at. I don't know. I don't want to nix the idea. I'd like to hear a little bit more about it, because there must be some reason that it's being talked about. And I love the idea that they'd have people on the street again, besides in the cars. And that would not, it's a different day, obviously, than it was in the 60s and 70s when people were walking, or 50s even, when people, before that, people walking the beat. But
they're talking about 6, and we all know the most trying, dangerous, shall we say, time period is that time from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Do they still have 4 o'clock licenses for
they
bars
do.
in downtown Peoria? Yeah, so change that to 5, 10 to 5. And is this when you want people walking around with no weapons? You know, I could see them being robbed, as a matter of fact, knowing that, and you raise a question about would they be in uniform. They almost would have to be in uniform, so people who are walking the streets would know that the person following them is not a bad guy, but is someone in uniform representing the Peoria Police Department.
I'd like to see what they have to say, Roger, and I would not put them out after dark. For me, that would be a daytime route.
Particularly if you have no weapon.
That's true. That's what I mean.
Because you also have to remember there are people walking the streets at that time, and all time, who have weapons that are licensed to carry.
Yeah, that sounds like you just did a 007 movie there.
Yeah.
License to carry.
License to carry. Well, at any rate, again, the concept, I can see what the purpose is, and that's to make downtown area safer. But I don't worry about it so much during the day as I would think twice about being like going to a Bradley game at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the evening.
And are we certain they're going to be walking
or
the
a
streets?
hockey game.
Are they going to be walking the streets, or are they going to be in vehicles?
Interesting. That's an
or
interesting.
bicycles, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That reminds me, we're still on law enforcement and safety. Have you noticed there are 2 female Illinois troopers working I-74 on motorcycles.
Yeah, I saw them the other day.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were females. When we drove by, they had somebody pulled over, but
Yeah.
I didn't know. Well, I noticed there were 2 state troopers on motorcycles, which is unusual to get them in pairs.
Yes.
Very
yeah.
unusual because troopers
Well,
work
one to back
alone.
up the other one, maybe one to shoot the radar, and the other to be the chase cycle, for that matter. I think it's neat, to tell you the truth. And interesting, I think it was Friday, I was on the way leaving the studio, and I got on 474, and a trooper had apparently just finished writing the ticket and everything. And as I went by, I looked in the rearview mirror and saw her coming toward me, and I looked at my speedometer, and I knew I was okay, as I am most mornings. I don't do a lot of speeding. At any rate, next thing I know, she passed me, and I rolled the window down, and I said, "Citizens arrest!" No, I didn't. I thought about it.
Yeah, well, Barney did the U-turn,
And then yeah.
and Gomer got it.
Yeah, Gomer ran down the road yelling, "Citizens arrest!" Anyway,
Well, I'll tell you what, you don't want to mess around with the female cops either, because they're no nonsense. They put up with a lot less than the male cops do.
well, I told you that I had some guy who was driving erratically on I-74, and I thought, where's the state trooper when you see one? And he passed me, and I got under the university overpass. I'm going eastbound on 74, and there was a state trooper's car parked in that little indentation. You know what I'm
I know
talking
exactly
about?
what you're talking about.
So I pulled off and to the side, and the trooper got out of the car and came back, and it was a female. And I said, "Debbie," I won't say her last name. She was a student nurse at Methodist when I was
Changed
working
careers.
there. Changed careers, exactly. I said, "What happened? What happened to your nurse?" And she said, "I got bored, and I decided I want to try something different." I said, "Well, congratulations." And she said, "What'd you stop for?" And I said, "Well, first of all, to say hi." She said, "No, Roger, what did you stop for?" And I said, "There was a guy driving erratically," and I said, "I don't know whether he'd been drinking or he was on drugs or whatever." And she said, "There's no way that I could find out. Did you have the license number?" And I said, "No." What the car looked like, and told her, and she said, "He's probably in
Galesburg.
Morton or
other way.
the other way, for that matter." But she was and is, unless she's retired by now, a state trooper.
Wow,
So that was a midlife change of occupation. Weather-wise today, it'll be sunny, a high around 77 tonight, partly cloudy, low 55. Right now, 59 degrees, and here's our pet tip of the day.
Today's pet tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. If your children are ages 3 to 5 and you have a busy family life, I propose that a guinea pig might be the best choice as a pet. They're larger than hamsters and smaller than rabbits. Guinea pigs can weigh a couple of pounds and generally live for 5 to 7 years. Guinea pigs are happiest when living in a same-gender pair and will do well with very young children. They rarely bite and like to be gently held. Because they live in a cage, cleanup is easy for you, and automatic water and feeding stations can allow them to fit into a busy family life more easily than a cat or dog. As a rule of thumb, you'll need to provide a minimum of 4 square feet of cage space per guinea pig, but please try to get as large a cage as possible. You'll need a solid bottom cage, no wire floors, as they will irritate the pet's feet. Never use a glass aquarium for any cage other than it is intended. Doing so can overheat a small animal due to the poor ventilation that it provides. Always keep the cage indoors, away from drafts and extreme temperatures, as guinea pigs are very susceptible to heat stroke. Line the bottom of the cage with aspen or hardwood shavings or some other form of safe bedding such as grass hay. Do not use cedar or pine chips. The oils those contain are dangerous to the guinea pigs. Other than that, it's easygoing and enjoyable to own guinea pigs. They could be the perfect first pet for your little children. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's Pet Tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Thank you, Louis Linder. Our pet tip of the day. Did either one of you ever have a guinea pig or a little... they look like a track of rats.
They're an oversized hamster.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, because they don't have a
Oversized,
tail.
that mean obese?
No, just
just
big.
large.
I mean,
Bigger
like,
in stature.
hamsters are itty bitty. They fit in the palm of your hand, whereas guinea pigs are about 3 times that.
Yeah.
I
size.
think we had a guinea pig for our 2 sons. I don't remember. But seems like they're cute little fellows. They don't bite, do they?
They can if they're
Yeah. If
perturbed.
prompted.
If prompted, aggravated.
Don't mess with the guinea pigs.
Yeah.
But they're noisy. I remember my friends had one, and it squeaked, squeak, 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 all the time.
Oh, that
No,
would
thank
drive
you.
me up a
Me
wall.
too.
Hey, I want to talk a little bit about my experience at the Peoria Zoo. Kudos to the Park District. It's a great zoo. The animals are pretty much like Howard Hughes. They kind of hide and they don't show like the lion. I don't know where the lion was, and the tiger. All he did was flip his tail every now and then to keep the flies away. But the zebras, little of everything. I do miss the water animals that many zoos have. As I recall, if I remember right, there are no water areas.
You talking like fish?
Yeah, no, like penguins.
Oh, okay.
I would love to see a penguin. And they had a couple of monkeys, and I have to tell you, that's where they fall down. I remember as a kid growing up to Glen Oak Park, and they had this big monkey cage, and next to it was the cage where they had a big bear, big bad John. But the monkeys were, you could sit and watch the monkeys perform all day long. You really could. But they only had a couple of monkeys, I think, and I think they were suffering from depression. The little that
They're
I saw
tired looking
them.
at people all day.
But I would like to see the zoo be a little more elderly, older American friendly, because the trails are up and down, and I wonder if they considered renting golf carts as an example to
good idea.
because grandparents like to take their grandchildren to the zoo. And it reminds me of that joke, but I'm not going to tell.
I know it's
That
not
Royce
a good
will
one.
take it to the zoo.
So much fun. We went to the boat. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. And the parking lot is very small, and so I had to park 2 blocks away, and then walk 2 blocks to get there, and then 2 miles
up the hills
up in
and
the
down
hills
the
and down
hills,
the
yeah.
hills and down the valley. But the giraffes were wonderful to watch. They apparently had a baby giraffe, and so they had the buckets of food that were high so that they were reaching up to eat it so that it would slide.
Yeah, instead of having to bend over to the ground.
Yeah, right.
Have to go up and swallow as you go up.
And you know, you would see him every now and then bend over, and you thought, he's going to go
He's going to fall forward.
forward for that matter.
Neck acts like
Yeah.
a kickstand sometimes, keeps the thing from falling
But
over.
the highlight was at the beginning, which is where we went to the lodge and had hamburgers and cheeseburgers and other assorted things to eat. And I will tell you, the hamburger was not cheap, but worth every dollar.
Nothing is cheap.
I think the hamburger was $8.50. Yeah, a little pricey, but it was delicious, absolutely. And the people who worked at the zoo were very cordial, very user-friendly, and the zoo is something Peoria can be proud of. It's not the zoo in St. Louis or San Diego or Chicago, but for a city of our size, excellent.
Tracy was growing up, and they lived next door to the people who ran the zoo, and they would sometimes bring home the babies.
Really?
The baby animals to nurse them and take care of them, and so she got to play with baby tigers and baby lions.
You're kidding! Wow, would that be something?
You know, can you imagine? I mean,
yeah.
Can you imagine that? And you know, so and that's kind of an unusual thing because not everybody gets to live next door to
No,
a
next to a
zookeeper.
zoo. So your neighborhood was a zoo.
Well, their neighborhood was a zoo. You know, I told you.
We have a lot of them in Peoria that are zoo, but a little different meaning.
Different meaning
for
behind
what it
zoo
is.
back then.
Yeah.
But
When's the last time either one of you, I know I asked this question before, I'm not sure we got an answer, but when was the last time either one of you went to the zoo?
I have been to the zoo in St. Louis and the Lincoln Park Zoo. Is there a Lincoln Park Zoo out there in Chicago?
Well, that or Brookfield
Zoo?
Yeah.
Okay, one of
Might have been, maybe they have two zoos.
One in St. Louis, one up in the Chicago area. I haven't been to the Peoria Zoo since they've redone it.
Mm-hmm.
My son-in-law, Mike, was part of the building of that zoo.
Oh, really?
He was
Yeah.
assigned there for like 18 months or something.
Mhm.
So, yeah, he used to come home and say, boy, it's really going to be nice.
And it
I
is
really
nice.
like it. But I haven't been there.
No.
I haven't been through the zoo per se, but when I worked at Malta-Ad, one of the guys there, his wife was pretty high up at the zoo. And I remember around 4th of July, they had just gotten the new, I think they were the tapers. And they were a little worried how they were going to react to the fireworks
Oh, that's
program.
true.
So some of us volunteered, and we got there, and we were with animals in the pen to kind of keep them calm and that. They handled it quite well. But it was pretty neat because then, we got a bird's eye view of the fireworks show. And
Oh, I
they
like
had
that. Bird's eye view.
Yeah, they're right there.
Well, they used to have birds there too, didn't they?
Sure they
Yeah,
did.
they did
You
have
bet
birds.
they did.
I remember the big glassed-in area right when you came in.
Yes.
Birds, and turn left and you went down and you could see the different fish and snakes and all those things. And
The reptile, yeah.
it always smelled so good.
See, that's my memory as a little girl going there.
Yeah.
I couldn't, I'd throw up. So I'd race through that one area because the smell was so bad, and I don't like the monkeys at all.
You don't watch them? Because
No.
I used to, when we had the big monkey cage, I mean, it was huge, by the pavilion at Glen Oak Park. The monkeys would take turns picking the bugs off of their backs. You remember that? Sometimes they'd eat one. Oh, here's a good one. I'm going to eat
Yeah,
this one.
this one looks tasty.
Yeah.
Remember, they used to have, I think it was a baboon. I think it was the baboon, and he was vicious, and he'd throw his.
Oh, he'd throw feces.
Yeah,
at
he'd throw
you.
the crap at the people, and that turned me off.
and it was real crap.
It was real crap. That's exactly
It just
right.
wasn't just crap. It was real crap.
Shoot the whatever, yeah.
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 Wow.
I could watch my favorite two animals, the big one's the elephant, the little one's the penguin. However, I love to watch the gorillas because they were so human-like in their
Yeah.
behavior and so forth.
That's just because they're humans in a gorilla outfit. Right?
I think so.
You think so?
Do you remember when a TV crew came to town on rumors, and that's all they were, that was a guy in Bartonville that was
Bigfoot?
yeah. It was kind of a Bigfoot. And I know they manufactured it because when they aired it, they showed the guy going through the woods.
It's always
and,
grainy film, too.
Yeah. And it obviously was some guy in a gorilla suit
'Cause he went
that
like
they
this.
put together. Yeah. He said Team USA. Anyway, but gorillas are so human-like that their behaviors actually are better than some members of Congress.
You do realize that when the zoo closes and everybody goes home, that the monkeys all find loungers and they're sitting around smoking cigarettes and watching TV all night because they have to perform all day. This is their downtime.
Yeah. Well, and they
Lesson, Randy.
Got them fooled again, don't we, boys?
and they do
Have a banana.
have rehearsals too. Before they,
That's
yeah. So what do you want to do tomorrow? I don't know. You want to run through it? Pardon the expression.
When are we going to throw stuff at
It
people?
just shows you what imaginations we have. News, weather, sports coming up at the top of the hour on Breakfast with Roger and Friends. Teri Chamberlain, John Meisinger, and in the next hour we're going to talk to Ray LaHood. Ray was among those who were invited to the private grand opening celebration on Thursday at the Barack Obama Presidential Center. And I know he'll have some interesting details of what the building facility looks like and some of the people that he pressed the flesh with, including, I had the opportunity, he said, to talk to Barack Obama. So stay tuned for that. Coming up on Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU, FM 90.7 in Peoria, Illinois, and on YouTube. No sense looking at that clock. Stay tuned. It's Monday. I can't believe it. The 22nd of June. How time flies when you're having fun. We open with a check of the weather and also the Illinois River, for that matter. And it's brought to you by Matt Wall, CPA and tax specialist with Gordon Stockman Wall. All things financial. He's got the answers. Matt Wall. You can reach Matt Wall at 309-692-4030. Matt Wall with Gordon Stockman Wall. John has our weather and our river.
Yeah, I can make that work. A flood warning continues for residents and businesses on the Illinois River for Peoria, Tazewell, and Woodford counties. We're at 19.8 feet with flood stage at an even 18. We could reach 20.2 feet by Thursday, so that should be the crest, and then it should fall slowly after that. Weather-wise, it'll be sunny today, which will be very nice with a high around 77. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 55. Tomorrow, sunny and high of 79. Wednesday, sunny with a 40% chance for afternoon rain, a high of 80. Thursday and will be sunny and 80, and currently we still are at 59 degrees. Right?
It looks that way. It does. All right, let's get into the news. Presented by Advanced Medical Transport, the premier provider of emergency and scheduled ambulance service in central, western, and eastern Illinois. 500 AMT employees, men and women, dedicated to offering and providing the best in health care. Saving lives is what they do. With our lead story, here is Teri.
Well, despite the ceasefire and the 60-day memorandum of understanding with Iran, all is not well in the Middle East. Hezbollah terrorists killed 4 Israeli soldiers and 5 others were wounded in multiple attacks in southern Lebanon. Airstrikes by Israel killed 18 people and injured many others.
President Trump still hopeful to bringing an end to the war with Iran. It appears Iran has hopes as well. We hope they do, if we want to use the word hope, as they sent an unprecedented team of negotiators for talks in Switzerland. That team includes security, legal, and financial experts along with senior oil and energy officials. Team USA, on the other hand, consists of Vice President J.D. Vance, Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner. The two countries held talks for over 10 hours yesterday. They have since resumed today.
Republican Senator Lindsey Graham is predicting the talks will fail, and Trump will resume bombing Iran while taking control of the Strait of Hormuz. Graham applauded Trump for trying a diplomatic solution, but believes Iran will not surrender their right to enrich uranium with a goal of eliminating the Jewish population of Israel. That's what Jewish Fox TV commentator Mark Levin said last night on his show. Levin is calling for a complete regime change.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has resigned. The Labour Party leader has been under pressure to quit due to his open border policy and alleged anti-Semitic comments.
It was a big opening for the President Barack Obama Presidential Center in Chicago last week. We'll get an exclusive report about the ceremony held Thursday from former Congressman Ray LaHood at 7:30 this morning. LaHood was on hand for the event, attended only by those who were formally invited.
Over the weekend, Chicago police report the shooting deaths of 7 people and the wounding of 36 others. Associated Press kind of defended the shootings by saying crime rates in the Windy City have generally dropped over the past few years. So we took a look at it. 192 people were murdered in Chicago in the first 6 months last year. To date, 182.
Big
That's
drop.
quite a drop, isn't it? And with 8 days to go. Well, we'll see.
Tomorrow night, Peoria City Council members will discuss a proposal from the Peoria Police Department to hire 6 unarmed community service members to patrol the downtown area at an annual cost of $500,000. The personnel would have no police powers, no weapons, and no authority to make arrests. They would, however, monitor potential trouble spots and incidents.
A fire last night at a house in the 3300 block of El Vista caused about $20,000 damage. An adult, 2 children able to leave the home safely. The fire started when a tree fell, downing power lines that ignited siding on the home.
National and local media outlets are blaming Donald Trump for problems with the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool on Washington's National Mall. After years of neglect, the president ordered the complete renovation of the pool. It cost $14.7 million, and 2 weeks later, the water changed color and paint started peeling. U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro said vandals poured corrosive chemicals into the pool, causing the damage. She said police have made several arrests. Media, such as ABC, said the problems were caused by poor workmanship and blamed Trump. Big surprise.
Yes. All right, now let's get news from WCBU.
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Ryan Denham. There are a few items in Governor J.B. Pritzker's legislative wish list that did not pass this spring, including a measure that would impact how the state regulates gambling. Mawa Iqbal has more.
Lawmakers adjourned last month without considering a plan to merge the Illinois Gaming Board with the state board that regulates horse racing. The Gaming Board oversees casinos, video poker, and sports betting businesses. Both boards currently host open meetings, but Pritzker's proposal would have taken the combined agencies' discussions behind closed doors. His office says it's to, quote, improve efficiency, strengthen accountability, and ultimately better serve the public. But the Sun-Times reports House Speaker Emanuel Chris Welch questioned why it's needed and says there was no appetite from the Democrats to act on it immediately. I'm Mawa Iqbal.
Illinois lawmakers have passed a bill stopping public universities from meddling in news coverage by media outlets that are based at the university. Democratic State Representative Sharon Chung of Bloomington was the main sponsor.
By putting this in statute to just make it very clear that university administration can't sort of decide what can and cannot be covered, to afford these extra protections to their full-time staff.
The bill also protects public universities from lawsuits that are against public media organizations. Governor Pritzker has announced more than 400 pharmacies in Illinois will receive $25 million as part of an annual funding approved last year. Capital News Illinois reports that funding will help pharmacies at risk of closure or under financial strain, focusing on rural and low-income communities. In Peoria County, 6 pharmacies, and in Tazewell County, 3 will receive funding. Tickets for the September Beatification Mass for Archbishop Fulton Sheen and related events are available starting this week. Bishop Louis Tilka says the Mass for Sheen is a historic moment for the Diocese of Peoria. The events are part of an official Sheen pilgrimage, and he encourages area Catholics to participate. The Mass is scheduled for 2 p.m. on September 24th at the Dome at America Center in St. Louis. You can find more news at wcbu.org. I'm Ryan Denham.
Thank you, Ryan. With all the latest in the world of sports, we return to John Meisinger. John, good morning.
Good morning, Roger. In Major League Baseball yesterday, we had the Tigers beating the White Sox 5-4. Cardinals over the Royals 12-10. That was a slugfest. The Cubs were postponed, or basically didn't play at all due to weather. Probably a good call on their part because it was pretty nasty yesterday. Phillies over the Mets 6-2. The Reds beat the Yankees 4-1. Go Reds. The Brewers over the Braves 9-4, and the Pirates over the Rockies 8-6. Peoria Chiefs were rained out yesterday in a scheduled game with Dayton. Peoria returns to action in Beloit tomorrow, taking on the Sky Carp at 6:05 p.m. I usually say Sky Harp. So the Sky Carp, that was good for me. 2 times in a row I've said this well.
I noticed that.
Yeah, thank you. I'll expect a raise.
Yes.
The Americans advanced to the knockout round in the World Cup without their injured star forward, beating Australia 2-0 on Friday for their second straight victory in an expanded 48-team tournament. The U.S. then won Group D when Paraguay beat Turkey. This is still hard to say. Turkey 1-0 early Saturday morning. The U.S. plays Turkey at 9 p.m. on Thursday. Aferne Moore is leaving Richwoods High School for an Arizona prep school. PJStar.com reports that the sophomore announced on social media that he won't be returning to Richwoods for his junior season in 26-27. He's heading to Sequoia Pathfinder Academy in Buckeye, Arizona. I got to say,
That's a big switch.
they won't have any snow days down there, that's for sure. And finally, we had a shortened sports report because we didn't have any power yesterday, so I didn't have a chance to do it. With the high cost of fuel in the area, economists recommend removing your rear view mirror from your vehicle for better mileage. One happy customer who applied this strategy said, quote, "I haven't looked back since."
All right.
You're welcome.
Yes. Wonderful.
That was it.
Sports and humor.
Back to you,
Presented
Roger.
by John Meisinger, boys and girls. You know, weather-wise, the month of June has been pretty wet, but
But the temperatures haven't been terribly hot, have they?
no.
I can do that all the time. I
Yeah,
don't even mind the rain.
you live somewhat in the country, do you? In
Well, we're right-
Edwards.
across the
Your
street
mailing
from Beaver
address is Edwards.
Yes, our address is Edwards, but it's literally, we have all Peoria services, so,
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah.
You know, that's what makes it kind of confusing for some people, and some people being me, is, we've talked about this before in the Peoria School District and the Dunlap School District. You have kids living in Peoria going to Dunlap
Correct?
High School, which sounds crazy. I remember George Shatter years ago talked about wanting to pass legislation that would prevent that kind of a situation where students live in Peoria but attend, like not far from where you live, Pleasant Valley School in Limestone School District is just a few blocks away off of Richwoods Boulevard. And you think, what? That's in Limestone School District? But we
Limestone
have
School
to
District in
remember,
Peoria.
yes,
Yes.
yeah. But we have to remember years and years and years ago, we weren't as populated in those areas. I'm going to guess that maybe Pleasant Valley, but it's an awfully new building.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it wasn't years and years
It's not
ago.
the
when I-
original building, obviously.
No.
Yep. But yeah, beautiful school, by the way.
It is a
Gorgeous
beautiful
inside.
school. And just a few blocks away is what? Robert Jameson
Right.
Grade School.
And that's
Is-
Peoria
is-
Public Schools.
Yeah, and that's Peoria Public School. It's kind of a crazy system, and I just wonder, is it like that in other school districts of cities like Rockford or Springfield?
I don't know much about
No, I
the
don't
bigger
know.
communities, but you know, each one of the small communities, short of the Dunlap School District,
Yeah.
okay, don't intermingle with any others. I mean, the Limestone doesn't, except for but each one of those they're separate districts too.
Yeah.
They're one school district.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
no, you're right.
yeah.
All right, let's, this day in history, you ready? Put on your thinking caps.
Oh boy. Here we
June
go.
22nd, 1944.
Oh, it's before my time.
What? Not before mine.
I'm not gonna say anything, Roger. I was
what?
leaving that for you to say. Yes.
And I'm going to make it somewhat easier for you by saying it had to do with legislation.
So that would be here in the United States.
Yes. Hmm.
Okay.
And World War II was still going on.
Correct.
Hmm.
So
In a way, it was connected to
the World War II?
the war. Yes.
The war. Okay. The war. Okay. Can I buy a vowel?
Yeah, you can. Which one would you like?
Why? Sometimes
Okay,
why?
why?
Why not?
You picked the wrong vowel, and we'll leave it at that.
Okay. All
So
right.
there's none. How old is Vanna White, by the way? She's in her 70s, isn't she?
No, she's my age. So she'll be 68 or 69.
Oh, really? Well, I wasn't too far off. with
We're
my-
approaching our
yeah,
70s, yes, but she's not.
approaching.
We're not there
So
yet.
she's 69.
If she's had her birthday already, yes. But
Well, good for her.
And did that help us answer the question?
No,
Oh, I
not at
just
all.
thought.
It was a diversion. I'm sorry, I lost my head.
did we actually legislate something? Was it? You said it was related.
You said it was
to,
war
to the
related?
war.
Yes. Hmm.
Is that the basic premise of the law? Have to do with the war?
No.
Okay.
No,
Right.
no, not really. Okay, I need to give you another.
Please.
It was a piece of legislation.
Well, you already said that, Roger.
Yeah.
Are you
Well,
reiterating this?
Yes, I am
Okay.
re-emphasizing
Okay.
it
Something to do with the law, then, right, Roger?
with the law.
Well, legislation is usually
is
a
it
law.
still in
is it
effect?
not?
Well, not every, like you can pass legislation that provides water rights or construction of a dam by Henry, Illinois, or something of that
So
nature.
we're talking about a dam now?
No.
No. Okay.
Was it
You
the
got me confused.
Was it the WPEA? The work.
No. That was a nice. I think that was mostly in
the 30s?
the 30s. I have a picture at home, by the way. It's a print of a picture of my dad working on a road gang, and it is fascinating. I think it was from the late 20s or early 30s. I'm trying to think.
The
I'll have to bring it in and show it to you. Anyway, I digress
Was
for
it
a moment.
the TVA, the Tennessee Valley
Well,
Authority?
that's a good try. Incorrect.
There's a lot of legislation that takes place every year.
Yeah, but
So-
more related.
It was part of Roosevelt's New Deal.
Oh, the New Deal. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's Social Security?
Well, you're on the right track. You're right on the right
Medicare?
track. No,
The income tax?
no. You're on the right track.
Dave Poles would know.
All
Can I
right.
phone a friend?
Yes, and if anyone wants to help you out, 309-966-4044.
Yeah, that would be nice. I'm not looking. Anybody's
they,
texted me yet to the
I
Yeah,
answer.
nobody's texting me.
It was well received.
Well received.
Certain people, I think everybody applauded, thought it was wonderful, and particularly a segment of the population that benefited by it. And keep in mind what the original clue was. It was kind of war related.
I don't know. They get rid of internment camps in the United
Well,
States?
that was something that was interesting, but incorrect.
Oh, okay.
The Lend-Lease program?
No. I know when you hear the answer, you're going to say, we should have gotten that earlier.
You're right. You're right.
All right, here's the clue, and this will do it. Colleges benefited by it.
Oh, the GI Bill?
That is correct.
Okay.
I knew that would do it. Franklin Roosevelt signed the GI Bill. As the last of his sweeping New Deal reforms, Roosevelt's administration created the bill, officially the Servicemen's Readjustment Act of 1944, hoping to avoid a relapse into the Great Depression after the war ended. The American Legion, a veterans organization, successfully fought for many of the provisions included in the bill, which gave returning servicemen access to unemployment compensation, low-interest home and business loans, and most importantly, funding for education. By giving veterans money for tuition, living expenses, books, supplies, and equipment, the old GI Bill effectively transformed higher education in America. Before the war, college had been an option for only 10 to 15% of young Americans, and university campuses had become known as a haven for the most privileged classes. By 1947, in contrast, vets made up, you ready for this? What percentage of the nation's college enrollment?
48%.
Ooh, very good.
Not there, though. That wasn't it.
50%.
Oh,
Pretty
Close enough
Very
to
close.
for a cigar. 3 years later, nearly 500,000 Americans graduated from college, compared with 160,000 in 1939. What a change! And now,
Now,
the cost of going to college is astronomical.
it's back to
I
this-
cannot believe. As I recall, when I went to Bradley, I think my semester average cost was $250.
when I went to Bradley from 1971 to 1975, my dad paid for my school, and it was a little under $10,000.
A year?
No,
totally.
For total.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. I remember when I went to Bradley, Dad said, I'll pay your tuition, and I want you to major in business. So I said, okay, because I wanted to go to college. And the first semester, I was terrible. Absolutely. I had political science, political geography, business classes. Didn't like it at all. Economic geography, that was one of the
Sounds
classes I had.
exciting.
And my grade point reflected my lack of interest in
Join
it.
the club.
So, yeah.
I
And
think
so-
that's designed to do that.
Well, I know
you
this.
can handle it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I told Dad, I told my dad, I want to be in radio. I wanted to be in broadcasting. I've had that desire since I was in grade school. This stuff isn't cutting it for me. I know what he was planning to do. He wanted me to follow in his footsteps because he had developed, he was self-made man, quit school as a freshman in Sullivan, Illinois, and later in life got his GED, and he knew more about business than some of the people teaching it at the university. So he said, well, you can switch, but you have to pay your way. So, I went to work, saved my money, and went to Bradley on my own. And fortunately, when I completed my BS requirements, they offered me a graduate assistantship if I went
that was nice.
into working for my master's degree. Back then, you could get a master's degree in a year. Now it takes 2 years for the most part. But I paid my own way.
That's good.
But I did what I wanted to do
Right.
instead of what my dad wanted to do. You went through the same process?
Well, literally, not literally the same, but yeah, I had issues my freshman year. It was terrible. Because you're taking classes that are required,
Yeah.
and that you
one
have
of them,
very little interest in.
and one of my classes was math. They said, you did so poor, we want you to take it. I said, I did poor because I'm not good at it, and you're making me try to.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So I took it, and I passed it by the bare of my chinny chin chin.
Well, and I know
You know, I've always felt 2 + 2 was 5. And they said, no, that isn't right.
I had a professor my freshman year that
At Bradley.
that was, and there were a lot of kids in school then, and because they were going to school primarily to avoid the draft, and so you could get an S1 and you were a student, get a student waiver, but if you still got your card drawn, if you got your number drawn, you still got to go.
You still got to go.
But
You're right.
otherwise, you get to go anyway.
Yes.
Okay, so so I was in class, and it was overcrowded. There were probably 35 people in a class
No
for
kidding.
28.
Really?
And
What year was this?
This was in 71, 72
Okay.
school year. And the professor says, now I'm going to come around. If I tap you on the shoulder, you need to drop. So I was one that was tapped on the shoulder, and I went home and told my dad. I said, this is what they said. He goes, you got to be kidding me. I said, no. I said, so I'll drop. He goes, you're not dropping the class. You're not dropping the class. So I stayed, and he
Interesting.
made it so hard on me, and I did not pass the class. But my father was so upset that he went, and because he had gone to Bradley and he had a lot of friends that were still there, and he said, this isn't how you do education, guys. I've been in the business.
Good
You
for
don't do
him.
this. And he said, so they expunged the F, but I'm still credits behind. So I had same answers as the guy next to me that got the B's. And so, and I still got
Oh,
F's. They
really?
didn't even grade it. You just put F and hand it back to you. And so, yeah, that upset my father tremendously, and I don't know that he gave back to Bradley after that, because he was ticket manager at Bradley for a handful of years in the late 30s, and played baseball there and was a big booster. But so anyway, that went away. It all went away, and but it was a tough time. Freshman year, I did not do well because the classes were, like you said, of no interest to me. When it finally got into the classes about education and that I could relate to, that I wanted to do because I wanted to teach, it was fun. It was enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, that first year was made to. I think it's to see if you can handle it. I really do.
Yeah.
Or at least that time it was. I don't know that it is now. I have no idea, but I can't imagine anybody coming up and saying, "You're out."
Yeah,
You're out.
that's terrible.
Yeah.
That's
So
what was the joke? Probably brutalized it that Royce told about the coach complained to the teacher that he flunked their star athlete, so he wouldn't be able to play. And he said, why'd you flunk him? He said, he cheated. He copied. He said, well, I know the family. They wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that. And he said, well, let me prove it to you. He said, he sat right next to the smartest kid in the class. He said, every question was exactly the same, the smartest kid in class and the star athlete. Look at question number 10. He said, smartest kid in the class says, I don't know the answer. And the athlete said, me neither.
and it's true.
Yeah, that is true. But I enjoyed my experience at Bradley University, and if I had to
I
do
did
all
too.
over again, I would do it again, except I wouldn't take that first semester of business classes.
Those were.
And I had some great teachers for other classes. Dr. Mawini was head of the speech and communication class. Hank Vander Hayden from Pekin was my radio instructor, and Dr. Larry Norton, who was part of the faculty of the speech department. I took every class, whatever he offered, including a class on listening, which a lot of people need to take, by the way.
Are you looking at me for some
yeah.
reason?
No, I'm just, and at any rate, and the campus, I love the campus. You know, they play baseball right near B Hall.
Yeah, right
where,
outside, wasn't it?
The left field fence. Just on the other side, a few feet, was a house. When a guy hit a home run, he hit the house. You know, you would hear the bell ring, except it would be the doorbell.
The doorbell
Say,
wouldn't hit that
Can we have the
exact spot?
baseball
That's
back
right.
for that? Anyway, we're going to talk to Ray LaHood coming up. It is 7:30. Let's bring you up to date with our news this morning. And as usual, our news at the bottom of the hour brought to you by Bob Manning, Senior Vice President and Financial Advisor with the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley in Peoria. For all your investment needs, call Bob. You can reach him at 309-671-4653. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. Now with the news headlines, here's Terry.
Despite the ceasefire and the 60-day memorandum of understanding with Iran, all is not well in the Middle East. Hezbollah terrorists killed 4 Israeli soldiers and 5 others were wounded in multiple attacks in southern Lebanon. Airstrikes by Israel killed 18 people and injured many others. President Trump is still hopeful to bringing an end to the war with Iran. It appears Iran has hopes as well, as they sent an unprecedented team of negotiators for talks in Switzerland. The team includes security, legal, and financial experts, along with senior oil and energy officials. Team USA consists of Vice President J.D. Vance, Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner. The 2 countries held talks for over 10 hours yesterday and will resume today, if they haven't already. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham is predicting the talks will fail, and Trump will resume bombing Iran while taking control of the Strait of Hormuz. Graham applauded Trump for trying a diplomatic solution, but believes Iran will not surrender their rights to enrich uranium with a goal of eliminating the Jewish population of Israel. It was a big opening for the President Barack Obama Presidential Center in Chicago last week. We'll get an exclusive report about the ceremony held Thursday from former Congressman Ray LaHood around 7:30, as soon as we finish the news this morning. LaHood was on hand for the event, attended only by those who were formally invited. Over the weekend, Chicago police report the shooting deaths of 7 people and the wounding of 36 others. Associated Press defended the shootings by saying crime rates in the Windy City have generally dropped over the past few years. 190 people were murdered in Chicago in the first 6 months last year. To date, only 182, but there are 8 days to go. Tomorrow night, Peoria City Council members will discuss a proposal from the Peoria Police Department to hire 6 unarmed community service members to patrol the downtown area at an annual cost of $500,000. The personnel would have no police powers, no weapons, and no authority to make arrests. They would, however, monitor potential trouble spots and incidents. And those are the headlines, Roger.
All right, thank you, Terry. And now the weather brought to you by Sam Lilly and Associates, providing a comprehensive range of insurance products, including personal auto, home, life, and medical coverage. Sam specializing in Medicare plans and options, something he's been doing during his 40 years in the business. You can reach Sam today with your questions at 309-245-4374. That's 245-4374. John has our weather.
Thanks so much, Roger. A flood warning continues for residents and businesses along the Illinois River for Peoria, Tazewell, and Woodford counties. We're at 19.8 feet with flood stage at an even 18, so we're just a little bit over that. We could reach 20.2 feet by Thursday. If that's the case, shortly after that, it should drop slowly. Weather-wise, it'll be sunny today with a high around 77. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 55. Tomorrow, sunny and a high of 79. Wednesday, sunny with a 40% chance for afternoon rain. High of 80. Thursday, sunny and 80 degrees. Currently, we're sitting, I don't like to say that word, sitting at 61 degrees. And Roger, that's your live weather report. Meteorologist Kyle Varnold will be providing more details during our 8 o'clock hour this morning. We always look forward to his updates. And back to you.
Okay, and we'll be back with Ray LaHood after this message.
Every 2 seconds, Somebody in America needs blood. You can help by donating blood at your local American Red Cross. Donating blood is easy. It only takes about an hour, and a single donation can help save more than one life. This is Alex O'Loughlin asking you to donate blood to help somebody in need. A friend, a neighbor, or somebody you haven't even met. Call your American Red Cross at 1-800-GIVE-LIFE or visit them at givelife.org. The need is constant. The gratification is instant. Give blood.
Think about everything that you save. You save gas, you save money, you save time. But have you ever thought about saving life? That's right, life. In just 1 hour, you could save up to 3 lives, giving 3 people more time with the ones they love. And isn't that the best thing to save? The need for blood is as universal as it is constant. Save life, give blood.
Well, we're delighted this morning to welcome to our program one of our regulars, former Congressman Ray LaHood. Good morning, Ray.
Good morning. How are you, Roger?
Absolutely wonderful. Did you have a wonderful Father's Day yesterday?
Had a great Father's Day. Sure did. How about you?
Wonderful. I'm sure you were loaded with all the family and including grandchildren, so forth, but it was a big day.
Yep, we had a lot of fun. Thank you.
Well, let's talk about, you had the honor and privilege of being invited to the private opening ceremony Thursday of the Obama Presidential Center. Tell us about your experience.
Well, it was really an extraordinary day. It was a beautiful day. The day before, on Wednesday, was a monsoon with heavy winds, but on Thursday it was just spectacular. The sun was bright, and the crowd was very, very excited. It was fun for Kathy and I to be a part of this. We were included the day before on Wednesday with a small group of Obama folks, including some former ambassadors and other folks, to have a chance to spend a few minutes with President Obama and listen to his take on the opening of the Presidential Center, as they call it, and a chance for us to visit with him privately for a few minutes. Then on the day of the event, obviously 4 living presidents, including President Clinton, President Bush, President Biden, and their spouses, and of course President Obama. The speeches delivered by Michelle Obama and President Obama were really a highlight of what they felt that they had accomplished during the 8 years, and more importantly, the real meaning of the Presidential Center, which is located in the neighborhood where President Obama was a community organizer when he first came to Chicago, where he served as a state senator in the Illinois State Senate, and in the same neighborhood where Michelle Obama grew up, went to school, and really launched her own career. So for them, the meaning of the location is very, very important. And what I mean by that, Roger, is it's not just a presidential center which highlights their activities during 8 years. It also has a full-size basketball court that will be available to the community. A public library facility is located there, and it's incorporated into the neighborhood with a huge park that will be available, a public park that will be available to children and families to come and have picnics. So what they've tried to do is not only capture the 8 years that they were in office, but go back to the neighborhood where they got their start. For President Obama, his political start, and for Michelle Obama, her time as as a child growing up, and in the neighborhood where she grew up and where she blossomed, and so it's a very unique combination of history, but it's also a combination of integrating right into the neighborhood, the South Side, which is a neighborhood that obviously is thrilled, even though there was some controversy in the beginning. The neighborhood has embraced this opportunity because the Obamas have really incorporated kind of a welcoming opportunity with the park, with the public library, with the basketball court, and then, of course, the presidential, his presidential library, so it was a great day. A lot of fun to see people that I worked with over the 4.5 years that I was Secretary of Transportation, including many cabinet members. It was probably one of the most bipartisan, collegial days in my time that I have served in terms of both Democrats and Republicans coming together, obviously with President Bush there and others, and the entertainment obviously was great too. Many stars were there, including Stevie Wonder and Bono, and it was a wonderful day.
Yeah, that's. Did they call it Jackson Park? Did I read the name?
That's
of the
correct.
Neighborhood was Jackson Park.
That's the neighborhood it's in, right next to the University of Chicago on the south side, right near South Lakeshore Drive. But that's the correct location.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to go inside the building and give us a bird's eye view of?
Very much so. Yeah, we spent a couple hours. When what it captures is photos and speeches of the campaign that President Obama won when he won the primary against Hillary Clinton and John Edwards, and then the campaign that was waged against Senator John McCain, which obviously he won, and then obviously the turmoil, the economic turmoil that was going on with the failure of many banks and the economic downturn in the economy, and then obviously ending the war in Iraq, which is one of the things that President Obama campaigned on during the time he was campaigning, and the creation of the Affordable Care Act. So highlights from his campaign, highlights from his service, 8 years as serving as president, and lots of photos, lots of speeches. There are different things named in honor, like, for example, the plaza that we were sitting on outside is called the John Lewis Plaza in honor of John Lewis, who obviously was a civil rights leader with Martin Luther King Jr. In any event, we did take a tour, and I would advise people to, if they have the opportunity, to go online and get a ticket and tour when you're in the Chicago area.
Ray, I watched part of the speech, heard part of the speech by Michelle Obama. Is there a possibility she might be on the ticket for the Democrats running for president?
Absolutely not.
Okay, because she was very political in her remarks, and I thought maybe she has that desire.
Yeah, I think that her speech was in response to some of the things that have been said about her, and some of the things that people have said in speeches. But they're finished with politics, and they're on to really, carrying on their legacy through the Presidential Center and probably, well, President Obama has finished his book. I don't know if he'll be writing any other books, but they're going to be devoted really to this the foundation and the Presidential Center, and I see no likelihood that she will be involved in any kind of politics in the future.
I'm sure that you had the opportunity to meet with your friend Ron Emanuel because speaking of possible candidates, I think you feel he might emerge as a someone interested in running as the nominee for the Democrat Party.
Yeah, well, as a matter of fact, we had dinner with Ron on Wednesday night, and he's already campaigning. He had just come from riding a bike across New Hampshire and stopping in many small towns. He's focusing really on the smaller states like New Hampshire, like South Carolina, and other states, and his focus really is on education and on economic opportunities, and building on many of the things that he did while he was mayor of Chicago. So he's not given to the far left progressive wing of his party. The reason that he was successful as mayor of Chicago was because a lot of people in the business community liked him. He's very favorable towards business. I would say he's a middle-of-the-road Democrat, and he will be going after independent voters and Democratic voters who are more middle of the road. Obviously, there'll be opportunities for the more progressives like Pritzker or Newsom or others, but I think Rahm will have an opportunity, and his game plan is to, in the beginning here, to kind of work with small states and build organizations. But he's clearly running for president.
You think he's going to upstage J.B. Pritzker? Because I think everybody knows that Governor Pritzker wants to run for president.
I don't think there's any question about that, Roger, and I think obviously the two of them will be rivals, but I think there'll be a number of other candidates. Pritzker's probably more in the more progressive part of the Democratic Party. And I think Rahm is again going after independent voters and the more conservative Democratic voters.
All right, let's talk about what is, and that is President Trump is hoping to put an end to the war with Iran. How do you think things are going to go in Switzerland as we talk during this 60-day ceasefire?
Yeah, look, I'm glad there's a ceasefire. I'm glad there's an end to the to the fighting, and I hope it prevails in Lebanon also. I hope Israel will listen to President Trump and stop lobbing missiles into Lebanon, where innocent people are being killed, and that's part of the agreement. And whether Netanyahu will go along with it or not is unclear. At the moment, I would say I'm not optimistic about the next 60 days because in the past, Iran has backed away from any kind of really agreement, and part of the agreement that I think President Trump really wants is the no nuclear capability, and I don't know if Iran will ever go along with that or not. So, and then, more recently they closed the Strait of Hormuz, and so that's obviously a sticking point. At the moment, Roger, I'm not too optimistic, but we have our fingers crossed, and the fact that there is a 60-day ceasefire is encouraging.
Yes, it is. And we can keep our fingers crossed, and we can also pray that we can bring peace in that part of the world. But as we know, it's been pointed out time and time again, that for 47 years has been death to America, coming from the leaders
Right.
of Iran, and maybe the only way is to create a change of regime, but that will take more fighting, more bombs, and more confrontation. So we can pray and keep our fingers crossed and hope that it does
That's right.
come to fruition. Any other
That's correct.
assessments you want to share with our audience this morning?
Well, not really. I think we're going to embark here very soon on July 4th and the big celebration of 250 years of our country. And we've been through a lot, but we have a lot to celebrate. And
Amen to
so I
that.
look forward to many more opportunities to be with you all and celebrate the 250th anniversary. We have so much to be thankful for, and surely our country is blessed because of 250 years of good leadership and an opportunity to really carry that forward.
You bet. One final question. I assume that despite the celebration and the family gathering, you probably watched the end of the U.S. Open?
Oh, wasn't that something?
Yeah,
It really was. And I think the other thing that is very exciting for our country is the way that the U.S. soccer team is performing. Now 2-0, and just beat Australia. And even for people who maybe don't know that much about soccer or the international soccer events that are taking place in the United States, I think there's a lot of opportunity now to cheer America, and so we've got a lot to cheer about on the 250th anniversary.
You bet. God bless America, and God bless Ray LaHood. Thanks for joining us, Ray. I
Thank you.
appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Roger.
You
Yeah,
bet.
take care.
Take care.
Former Congressman Ray LaHood, always a pleasure talking with him and getting his assessment. 61 degrees, sunny today with high around 72, very pleasant June day. We'll be right back after this very important, and I mean very important message.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go? I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it! I knew it! Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
And I appreciate those public service announcements, and we continue Breakfast with Roger and Friends. Any reaction to some of the things that Ray LaHood had to say by any chance, Terry or John, one way or the other?
No, not really.
Well, I think he's on track with the World Cup games, that's for sure. I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
We are, and
Are we favored to beat Turkey? What were the odds, do you know?
I don't. All I know is that in the first game that we played, we outscored. We had more goals than the whole World Cup previous.
Yeah.
So
right.
they're a much better team, and I'm not taking anything away from what the former speaker said. I didn't mean to sound like I was avoiding a question, but I do totally agree with his assessment of how we're doing in soccer.
Is soccer the only game where people kick each other?
Well, I don't know. There's kickboxing.
Well,
You're talking about it. Well, you know,
yeah, you're right. I forgot. I lost my head on that.
Soccer-
But, I mean, and, you know, all you see is them kicking each other in the shins.
well, that's why they have shin guards, Roger.
And they usually don't work. I don't know how many players I've seen rolling on the ground, holding their ankles.
Well,
their
they're
shins.
very good showmen.
Well,
Very good showmen.
yeah.
It's a difference between guys and girls when it comes to soccer, because the girls, they don't want to be taken down, and the guys kind of they'll take advantage of it to get a call. And you know, oh, my leg, and you get the call, and you stands up and runs away. You know, it's
he runs past the official. Yeah.
and I enjoy.
Yeah, you're a big soccer fan.
You have to learn the game though to enjoy it, and have somebody playing that you really care about. And so,
Fun.
with my girls, you know, growing up playing soccer and playing soccer in college, you know, we learn an awful lot about the game, and so it's a little more interesting probably to us. But yeah, the USA Soccer, they said if they keep winning, every team they beat's going to have to call it soccer and not football.
Yeah.
You know, so which makes perfect sense, you know, to me. But
yeah, when I was stationed in Germany, they were talking about football, and that's what they were calling soccer, was it
right,
not?
yeah, that's what they call it all over the world.
That's what
except
I thought.
here.
You got their sports screwed up, the Europeans. I remember arguing with a German. I said, that's not football. Football's the Chicago Bears, the Green Bay Packers.
Right. It's amazing how much the foreign countries enjoy American football, though.
Yeah.
They really do like American football.
And isn't it exciting? They're making a big deal because foreigners are coming over by the thousands to watch the World Cup matches, and they're raving about our food. And the big staple is ranch dressing.
That's right.
And you wonder, my golly, I wish I had a store in Germany, and I have
refills on soda.
You
know,
yes,
or iced tea.
Yeah, exactly.
Refills?
Yes.
You know,
That's unheard of.
Or they call Walmart like a museum. So one guy says, "This is like a museum."
Yeah.
Well,
it is.
You know, and they were going through Sam's and saw the big jars of mustard and pickle, and this is
and you know what? I think virtually some people are going to have bad experiences in a store or a restaurant with some clown being stupid and so forth. But for the most part, we are creating ambassadors on behalf of the United States by the number of fans who come and like our food, like our stores, and like our way of life, that there's nothing we could do in advertising to surpass the goodwill that's being created by the World Cup.
Well, they were interviewing, if I get this right, a couple from somewhere in Europe, and they said that their goal, well, they were going to be here 30 days, and their goal was to visit every state. And then they got here, you know, because over there you can drive through 3 countries in a day. And he said they got here and they said there is absolutely no way
that they were going to be able to do 50 states.
Much less
they would get lost in Hawaii for one, and then go to Alaska, and that would take care of the first 2 months.
So they kind of overemphasized
overshot the runway
overshot
with
the
that
runway
one.
on that. But there was one guy that was from one of the Middle Eastern countries that was sitting somewhere in Arizona next to a brook that was babbling by.
The babbling brook.
The babbling brook, and you know and sitting under a tree, and he says there is nowhere in the world, and I've been to a lot of places more beautiful than this.
No kidding.
He says, you know, you can go all over the world and think you're going to see something, but why would you ever leave the United States when they have so many cool things here? Now, you know, you're not going to get that kind of press from, you know, other media.
From marketing and messages.
Right,
and so
that's
forth.
correct. But
I will say, however, having been to Europe, thanks to Uncle Sam primarily, but after I got out of the service, went 2 other times back and trips. It's pretty hard to beat Switzerland. I would tell you that is a country that's absolutely fabulously beautiful.
Yeah, I think there are so many spots in the world that are, but the fact that there are people coming from countries that may or may not be friendly to us, and that's still...
And getting a real education.
Yeah, enjoying American hospitality. And there is hospitality in America.
Yeah, you're right. I just hope none of them get robbed. If they stay away from Chicago, they'll be all right. And New York and Los Angeles and other cities for that matter. Anyway, news, weather, sports coming up at the top of the hour. You're having breakfast with Roger and friends on WAZU FM 90.7 in Peoria, Illinois, and also on YouTube. Good to see everybody. Stay tuned. More coming your way, including we'll hear from Mr. Weather, Kyle Varnold,
Always
talking about the... Always a highlight. You're exactly right. It is Monday, the 22nd of June. We begin with a check of the weather brought to you by our friends at Spoon River Home Health, making a difference in the lives of their clients since 1993, providing a comprehensive range of home health services from skilled nursing to bathing and personal care. You can get more information from Spoon River at 309-245-0723. John has the weather.
Well, thank you, Roger. Just threw my pen on the floor because I was writing.
Well, that's all right.
You startled me when you said my name.
Temper tantrum.
Let me get my glasses on.
Sorry,
that was totally unprepared. I'm not used to doing one.
And now here's John with
Thank you,
the check of the Illinois River.
All right. The flood warning continues for residents and businesses on the Illinois River. For Peoria, Tazewell, and Woodford counties, we're at 19.8 feet with flood stage and even 18. We could reach 20.2 feet by Thursday, providing we get not much more moisture in the north, to the north of us. So let's hope for that. Weather-wise, it'll be sunny today with a high of 77. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 55. Tomorrow, sunny and a high of 79. Wednesday, we're looking at some sunshine with a 40% chance for afternoon rain. High of 80 degrees. Thursday, sunny and 80. Currently, we have 84% humidity with winds out of the north at 9 miles per hour and 61 degrees.
Oh, the weather is beautiful. You know, this might be a good time for those who say, you know, honey, I think it's time. Let's start looking to make a move. And if you are interested in checking the real estate market, talk to our good friend and sponsor of our program, Kathy Reynolds of Home Smart. She's available. She's been doing this now for almost 10 years, and she would like to help you in your search for your next home. You can reach Kathy Reynolds today at 309-696-2162. With our lead story, here's Terry.
Well, despite the ceasefire and the 60-day memorandum of understanding with Iran, all is not well in the Middle East. Hezbollah terrorists killed 4 Israeli soldiers and 5 others were wounded in multiple attacks in southern Lebanon. Airstrikes by Israel killed 18 people and injured many others.
President Trump still hopeful to bring an end to that war. It appears Iran has hopes as well. We're hoping as they send an unprecedented team of negotiators for talks going on in Switzerland. Their team includes security, legal, and financial experts, along with senior oil and energy officials. Team USA, on the other hand, consists of Vice President J.D. Vance, Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner. The two countries held talks for over 10 hours yesterday. They're back at it again today.
Republican Senator Lindsey Graham is predicting the talks will fail, and Trump will resume bombing Iran while taking control of the Strait of Hormuz. Graham applauded Trump for trying a diplomatic solution, but believes Iran will not surrender their rights to enrich uranium with a goal of eliminating the Jewish population of Israel. That's what Jewish Fox TV commentator Mark Levin said last night on his show. Levin is calling for a complete regime change.
Elsewhere in Europe, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has resigned. Somewhat of a surprise, the Labour Party leader has been under intense pressure to quit his job due to his open border policy, which has created havoc in Britain, particularly England, and alleged anti-Semitic comments as well. He is gone.
It was a big opening for the President Barack Obama Presidential Center in Chicago last week. We just heard from Congressman Ray LaHood about the ceremony. He and his wife Kathy were among those that were formally invited to attend the event. And he said it was quite the impressive event.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear his comments, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Over the weekend, speaking of Chicago, police in that city report the shooting deaths of 7 people and the wounding of 36 others. Associated Press defended the shootings by saying crime rates in the Windy City have generally dropped over the past few years. 192 people were murdered in Chicago in the first 6 months last year, and a big improvement to date, 182 this year, according to Associated
Big
Press.
improvement.
Yeah, and they have 8 days to go to try to tie the score.
So if they can continue with this type of success, it'll only be 18 years
Yes.
until they get to 0.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never thought of it that way. I told you I flunked math, and
I did too.
thanks for the insight on that.
You're welcome.
What's happening tomorrow night in Peoria?
Well, City Council members will discuss a proposal from the Peoria Police Department to hire 6 unarmed community service members to patrol the downtown area at an annual cost of $500,000. The personnel would have no police powers, and no weapons, and no authority to make arrests. They would, however, monitor potential trouble spots and incidents.
All right, how about that fire last night? We heard the sirens at a home in the 3300 block of El Vista Avenue. It caused about $20,000 damage. An adult and 2 children were able to get out of the structure safely. The fire started when a tree fell downing power lines, and that ignited siding on the side of the home, for that matter. $20,000 damage, as we indicated. You know, that has happened quite a bit in recent storms, where a tree will fall down. There's one in Tremont, and the power line, but the power line did not snap. There was enough flexibility so that the power is okay, but it's been that way for several days, so I don't know whether Amaron is way behind. You know, did you see all the trucks that have been in parking lots and so forth?
Right.
Apparently, Amaron sent a whole fleet of people to come to repair the electrical lines.
Well, when they, of course, we had power out yesterday too, and it was from a tree falling on, and I guess when the ground gets that saturated with water, and you get a little bit of wind, and it does uproot trees more free. So right out, it little sounds like right out of the ground. Yep, like a cow pulling his foot out of the mud. Not that I've ever heard that, but I just can imagine.
Sounds
That's
good
what
to
it
me,
sound
though.
like.
Thank
So,
you very much.
Yes, sir.
Who was the guy who was a master of sound effects? Wasn't it Mel Blanc?
Mel
He did a
Blanc.
lot of the
Blanc did
voices.
A lot of things.
And then there was, he's a black guy.
Yes,
he was
he
in
was
the
in it.
police academy.
He was in Police Academy.
You
He
should
was
say
so
that.
good.
I watched that, not to the end, but off and on over the weekend, and that was a funny movie. And that guy
Oh, my
made
mom and
all
dad
those.
loved those.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's so
And
crazy.
my
It
mom
is a
couldn't
crazy.
find his name.
Well, was
Oh,
Steve Guttenberg? What,
he was one of the actors.
the actors in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a few of those.
They had
didn't they?
they had a few risque moments in the movie.
Oh,
but,
Roger. Really? Well, if I can, before
I think
we
she
get
has.
on-
Do you have one more
Do you
story?
have one more story?
Just about the pool.
Okay. Well,
The deflecting
there's,
pool. It's,
well,
go
we'll
there,
forget.
sorry.
I thought I was going to
Well,
jump
we're
into
done.
sports.
Yeah.
Oh, go
Well,
right ahead.
but before we
But-
do
Oh,
that,
we
we
gotta
need to pause for news
WCBU.
from WCBU.
That's right.
All right.
Okay,
So
thank
we'll
you.
be right back with sports with John Meisinger. But first, WCBU News.
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Ryan Denham. There are a few items in Governor J.B. Pritzker's legislative wish list that did not pass this spring, including a measure that would impact how the state regulates gambling. Mawa Iqbal has more.
Lawmakers adjourned last month without considering a plan to merge the Illinois Gaming Board with the state board that regulates horse racing. The The gaming board oversees casinos, video poker, and sports betting businesses. Both boards currently host open meetings, but Pritzker's proposal would have taken the combined agencies' discussions behind closed doors. His office says it's to, quote, improve efficiency, strengthen accountability, and ultimately better serve the public. But the Sun-Times reports House Speaker Emanuel Chris Welch questioned why it's needed and says there was no appetite from the Democrats to act on it immediately. I'm Mala Iqbal.
Illinois lawmakers have passed a bill stopping public universities from meddling in news coverage by media outlets that are based at the university. Democratic State Representative Sharon Chung of Bloomington was the main sponsor.
By putting this in statute to just make it very clear that the university administration can't sort of decide what can and cannot be covered, to afford these extra protections to their full-time staff.
The bill also protects public universities from lawsuits that are against public media organizations. Governor Pritzker has announced more than 400 pharmacies in Illinois will receive $25 million as part of an annual funding approved last year. Capital News Illinois reports that funding will help pharmacies at risk of closure or under financial strain, focusing on rural and low-income communities. In Peoria County, 6 pharmacies, and in Tazewell County, 3 will receive funding. Tickets for the September Beatification Mass for Archbishop Fulton Sheen and related events are available starting this week. Bishop Louis Tilka says the Mass for Sheen is a historic moment for the Diocese of Peoria. The events are part of an official Sheen pilgrimage, and he encourages area Catholics to participate. The Mass is scheduled for 2 p.m. on September 24th at the Dome at America Center in St. Louis. You can find more news at wcbu.org. I'm Ryan Denham.
Okay, Ryan, time for sports. John Meisinger coming out of the dugout, ladies and gentlemen, with an abbreviated sports report brought to you by Ameren.
Yes. It was stopped by Ameren last night because I couldn't get on my computer.
What time did you lose power?
We lost power close to 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
In the afternoon.
And then we finally
going
to bed, and it came on right after we went to bed.
Did you hear alarms? Did alarm go whoop, whoop, whoop?
What, when it went off or
sound?
came on?
No, when it came on.
When it came on, yeah, because all of our fire alarms started to go off.
All the fire.
Because
the lights went on.
The lights went on.
And the national anthem played.
Right, and we had to stand up and hold our hand over our heart.
Music playing. And Ameren presents Power.
It was definitely, we were glad to have it, but by then I was too asleep to do much sport, any sports.
Yeah. But did you have to get up and turn all the lights out and reset the battery chargers? And,
I actually had to
smoke detectors.
Had to, because the smoke detectors would beep every 30 seconds if you don't reset them.
I know
so, and that just drives my dog nuts. I could care less, but and it is. I mean, you just get to sleep and go beep.
Yeah.
Like, I am awake again. And beep. Jeez Louise, is this ever going to stop?
You got that down pat.
And Tracy just sleeping away. She just do that. It just wasn't wired that way. So, anyway, thank you, Ameren. I appreciate the people who worked hard to put this stuff back together, because that is
we salute Ready Kilowatt.
They're in there. They're out there. And they're pouring down rain.
And it poured yesterday.
Lightning. We had some thunder at our house, so not very much, but I wouldn't want to be working out there in the lightning. That's for sure. Hey, let's go ahead and start sports. Might as well, because it's going to be about as long as the music was that you introduced me. Major League Baseball yesterday, the Tigers over the White Sox 5-4. The Cardinals beat the Royals 12-10. The Cubs postponed their game due to weather. Phillies beat the Mets 6-2. The Reds over the Yankees 4-1. The Brewers beat the Braves 9-4, and the Pirates over the Rockies 8-6. Well, the Peoria Chiefs were rained out yesterday in a scheduled game with Dayton, but they return to action in Beloit tomorrow, taking on the Sky Carp at 6:05 p.m. In the World Cup action, the Americans advanced to the knockout round of the World Cup without their injured star forward, beating Australia 2-0 on Friday for their second straight victory in expanded 48-team tournament. The U.S. then won Group D when Paraguay beat Turkey. I'm just going to say Turkey. Everybody knows what it is. 1-0 early Saturday morning. The U.S. does play Turkey at 9 p.m. on Thursday. His name is, and Fernie Morris. And Fernie Moore is leaving Richwoods High School for an Arizona prep school. PJStar.com reports that the sophomore announced on social media that he won't be returning to Richwoods for his junior season in 26-27. He's heading to Sequoia Pathfinder Academy in Buckeye, Arizona, which is a basketball school. And that will be the second student athlete that has left for a basketball school following the Smith boy that left, Bob Smith's grandson, who's headed down to Missouri for a basketball school. And finally, local authorities have decided not to dig deeper into the embezzlement claims at a local bait shop. The reason? They were afraid they'd open up a can of worms. And so they decided not to go any further with that investigation, Roger.
Yeah. Well done, my friend. You know, at the wedding that I attended over the weekend, I got to talking to someone who was on Ozempic. Is that weight loss thing? And they were marveling about the success they were having with it, sang the praises. Well, there's something now that's gone viral, apparently, a new weight loss trend as people drinking a mixture of warm water and unflavored gelatin right before sitting down to a meal. Have you read about that?
That's been going around for the longest time, and it sucks you in, and you get all these celebrities, oh, this is what I did with this simple gelatin truck. And suddenly you sit through the whole presentation, and oh no, it's a bunch, they're selling you some little drug that they found a pharmaceutical
Found a
place.
box of Jell-O.
No, there's no Jell-O involved. No, it's such BS, and it's like, no.
So you're not in favor of it?
No.
Okay.
Well, a dietitian said, Erin Polinsky Wade said, once the gelatin reaches your tummy, she didn't say tummy, I did, the acidic environment helps it form a thicker, semi-gelled mixture that increases the volume and thickness of what's sitting in your stomach.
So you don't eat as much.
Right.
Shoot.
And when you look at it, it doesn't look very appetizing.
Does not look very appetizing, does
But
it?
experts urge caution before swapping a proven nutrition for a cup of warm gelatin. So you say it's been around for a long time, Terry?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going with Terry on this one.
Yeah.
I think it's too easy. And I guess the Ozempic shots are supposed to be good for your diabetes if you're close to diabetes.
That's what it started out as. And then
exactly.
the added side benefit was, oh, look, I've lost some weight, too.
Yeah, and that's what most doctors want you to do when you're diabetic, right?
Yes, my dad did it the old-fashioned way. He just started watching what he was eating, and he walked every day.
I watch what I eat, and it still turns into fat.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's the trouble.
Yeah, and you know, you can go on the internet now and give them your weight and your age, and they'll tell you how much you have to walk to lose weight.
Well, the moon is out of reach for me, so I can't go that far.
Yeah.
And that's how far I would have to go to look anything like those people on that set right there. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I get a big kick out of the Osona Bella,
Right.
where they
Right.
use a hoover sweeper to suck out your fat, and in one day, it appears that you suddenly become slim, trim, and voluptuous.
Voluptuous?
Yeah, and I'm talking about women now.
Okay, all right. I was going to say, that's not one term I've used for...
36 million people have used in the Walk Fit program.
Well, their walking's real good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
If you walk, you can lose weight. Some people
all
have a
through
hard
that.
time walking.
What do you want to achieve?
You want to lose weight. Well, that's your choice. You only got one choice.
You know, no one has come up with a diet plan to solve a condition known as an overactive fork.
That's true.
And I've had that problem for years. I don't know, you know, sugar is like we've got this wonderful ice-covered pretzels. you cannot just eat one. I tried that this morning.
No, it
I
doesn't
came in.
work, does it?
And what was it, years ago, someone wrote a book titled Sugar Blues, and it traced the history of sugar. That, you know what country we blame for sugar addiction?
Cuba.
Cuba, yeah. Cuba, or Cuba, for that matter. And this is why I'm opposed to any plans to annex Cuba to the country, because they are the ones that cause obesity in the
It's
world.
all in a plan.
Yeah.
A plan to take
sugar
over the
cane.
country. That's right.
What food item is, I'll save that question
Okay.
because Mr. Weather is on the line.
We love Mr. Weather.
Good morning, Mr. Weather.
Good morning, Roger and Brett. How are we this cloudy but clearing, beautiful Monday, June the
Yes.
22nd in the year of our Lord 2026?
You got it. Did you have a nice Father's Day, Kyle?
I had a soaker of a Father's Day, Roger. How about you?
Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Anytime you have a family that gets together, maybe not totally, because my other son was at Ashland College in Ohio, but the younger son and his wife came down, and we gathered around and broke the food of fellowship. No, the fellowship of food. Anyway, we ate. How about you? What'd you do?
We had Mass. So the men's club at St. Mark's, we do a donut Sunday, and the third Sunday of the month, which always falls on Father's Day. And we had a very nice gift for the fathers. We gave them little mini St. Joseph statues that were blessed by Father Lampet. It was nice. And then we had donuts in the vestibule because it was pouring down rain outside. We had leftover donuts. Schnucks does a delicious, wonderful job, and donuts are delicious. And we ordered 15 dozen, and we had about 2 dozen left, which is a rarity because usually we run out of donuts.
That's good. Yeah.
But with the rain outside, no one came around for seconds or thirds. They got their donut, and they got out of Dodge and went to their cars and went out to breakfast or whatever Father's Day festivities they had planned. And then we packed up the car and drove over to Galesburg and met my folks at one of their favorites. And it's Dad's Day, so he got to choose, and he chose the Pizza Ranch.
Right,
In Galesburg.
that's a winning selection. By the way, speaking of Galesburg, I remember when Jumer's closed in Peoria, and we longed for their good foods, the Wiener Schnitzel, and other great meals that they had at Jumer's. And the one in Galesburg remained open. Now, I think that's closed, but has it reopened as a different restaurant?
Well, I don't know if it's reopened as a different restaurant. It's part of the Best Western Hotel now.
Okay.
So Jumer's was bought out by Holiday Inn for a short period, and then it was Best Western. But if you're looking for the Jumer's cinnamon rolls, you will find those in a wonderful Galesburg establishment called the Packing House.
Yes.
Right across
yes,
from the
yeah.
train station in the depot in Galesburg. And the Packing House is absolutely delicious and wonderful. And that's one of my parents' favorites, too. But Dad really wanted Pizza Ranch, and I was all for it because I love the fried chicken. So kids can have the pizza. I'll be dining on the fried chicken and looking out for the person bringing out the chicken every time they come out so I can go get more of it.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Amen to that. How about the weather? What kind of weather are we going to have for the balance of the week, including today?
Yeah, great week weather-wise. Again, very seasonably cool. We'll be in the upper 70s, low 80s as we get to the latter part of the week. We are looking at a system on Wednesday. Could bring some thunderstorms, particularly Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. But nothing of a severe nature at all to report for this week, which I'm happy to say. Maybe Friday night we might see some stronger storms. Severe parameters really aren't in place yet. But one thing we do want to talk about, and you heard it here first, as you often do with this program, is really, really hot weather coming next week, just in time for the 4th of July.
Oh, wow. Well, that's not all bad. That's not all bad.
Well, you say that now, but I think by next Wednesday you're going to be saying, this is bad. This is all bad.
You know me well. You're exactly right. You're right.
Yeah. I hear the little complaints trickling in, and that's the thing. It's going to be July. It's going to be hot, but the downside is it's going to be very humid, which is going to make for a very warm 4th of July parade come Saturday, July 4th. But that's what we do on July 4th. We have cookouts, we swim, we have a good time, we go down to the fireworks and deal with mayflies, and it's wonderful.
Deal with mayflies. That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. We're still having incidents of fallen trees, and as a result, power outages. John went through that yesterday, and so the storm leaves, but it leaves behind weakened tree and tree limbs and so forth.
Yes. No, we still have a lot of storm debris on the curbs of the city of Washington because, hey, bless their hearts, they have a program. So if you cut it in 3-foot lengths and put it out on the curb, they'll pick it up for you free of charge.
That's great.
Well, there was so much damage though in the city of Washington from the Thursday storm it was June 11th, and then last Wednesday we had that storm come through in the morning on June the 16th or 17th, excuse me. And they've gotten maybe to half the town so far, and then the half the town they had more damage last Wednesday. And so those people put it back out put out, and they're like, "Hey, you haven't got my stuff yet." Well, we just picked it up on Monday and Tuesday last week, and then people were upset on the local Facebook Washington Strong page because the city of Washington workers took off Friday, and that was fun.
Oh, that's right. Holiday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
It was a federal holiday.
Wow.
Oh, it's great.
Hey, how much rain did we get yesterday, though? That seemed like it rained forever.
I'm so glad you asked, Mr. Meisinger, because I was really hoping to talk about that. So rain gauges vary, but most people got about 1.5 to 2 inches yesterday. I know in Washington, we got another 1.8 inches on my rain gauge. It came in a couple waves, but yeah, it was another soaker. And the thing is, it was from basically 7:30, 8 in the morning to about 4:30 in the afternoon, so about an 8-hour period, but another soaking rain event. And the grass has never looked more vibrant and greener. I noticed Saturday when I was mowing Saturday morning, like just the gorgeous grass. It's lush. It's vibrant. It's growing like it's growing like April or early May, and it's absolutely beautiful. As I'm driving the prayer group right now, I mean all the yards, not a bit of brown to be found, and just gorgeous green grass.
That's an amazing thing, isn't it? I saw the grass. I could actually hear it growing last night when we had no power. I had the window open a little bit, and I was going, and I said, that's the grass.
You had no power?
No, we had no power from 3 till after we went to bed. So, yep. A tree fell on something, causing the outage.
A book titled "Tree." No, that tree grows in Brooklyn.
Tree grows in Brooklyn,
Yeah, but this wasn't in Brooklyn. This was in Edwards.
Oh, goodness.
Hair Nursery.
I don't know where it was, but it's affected 1,100 of us, so.
1,100?
Oh, wow.
Big tree.
You counted
Wait a
it
minute, hang on.
No, I didn't count them
power,
Yes.
Your power is your lines are underground, though, like my neighborhood there. It's underground lines, right?
Yeah. But you know what's funny? Our lines were underground when I lived on Queens Court, and 36. Well, I lived there 36 years and only lost power 3 times.
Well, that's funny.
And we moved out here. We lived there 6 years and probably lost power 10 times.
Well, that's because modernization.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's the little squirrels are biting on the wires.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It has to be something. Yeah, it has to be something. But anyways, back to the rainfall, though.
Yeah,
please.
Rainfall.
We said earlier at the beginning of the month, we average about 5 inches for the month of June. So we are at 8.5 inches now for the month of June.
Good.
So we are
no drought.
3.5 inches above average. No drought to be found. Officially at the airport, 1.85 inches. So not far off from my 1.82 in Washington. And then, but it didn't top the record, which we set last Wednesday. And that was a daily record on June the 17th of 1.95 inches at the Peoria airport. And as far as Washington, I had 3.54 inches of rain last Wednesday, which in my rain gauge is a record because I've never seen more than 3 inches in well, it was an 8-hour time span. It was from about 8:30 in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon last Wednesday. And it just poured and poured and poured.
Lot.
So very green grass, very happy flowers, very happy fields. Farmers, I don't know. I've seen a lot of standing water in some of those fields. So the water tables are filled. The runoff's got no place to go. So now it's like, oh, we might have the opposite concern. And then for those living along the river, I'm really, really sorry, but 20 feet, if not higher, is the expected crest on Thursday. And it will probably be higher than 20 feet, especially with the rainfall we saw in the last 24 hours.
Well, that sounds like I mean, we've really got a good forecast. I have one personal question to ask you. We're looking for good weather on Saturday because we have a family wedding here in town. So, you know, Keegan, he's getting married. So
yeah. That's right. Keegan's getting married.
Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh, that's right. That's right. The oldest.
We need some help.
Oh, but Keegan would love a good storm for his wedding.
Oh, he probably would. That's right. But I don't think his bride-to-be would be very favorable to that.
No. I think you see more clouds than sun on Saturday, but I do think the rain is primarily a Friday night, early Saturday morning event.
Good.
I don't see showers and thunderstorms being an issue for the wedding. I do see low 80s, and I see more clouds than sun, unfortunately.
No, that's okay.
But photographers have filters now. They'll make it look like it's sunny. The hell they'll make the sky blue if they need to. So you're fine there. And winds will be light for the most part, but there'll be a warm wind out of the south. So, and you will notice humidity start trickling in on Saturday, but especially Sunday. As a week from today, we'll be at 90 degrees, if not warmer.
Oh, okay.
There's the groan.
Summertime.
That's what I was waiting for. Yeah. I don't mind it at all. I like a little warm.
I can't wait till December.
Bring out my Speedo.
I gave you my Speedo this weekend, right? Why are you laughing, Kyle?
Yeah.
Wait, do you still have Speedo? Do you seriously? I mean, I see.
Who doesn't?
Guys in Speedos.
Me.
At my age.
I went from a Speedo to boxing shorts.
Oh, yeah, well, back then, then it was long pants.
For that matter.
Okay. No Speedos, I promise.
Well, I tell you what, I'm looking forward to the Heart of Illinois Fair coming next month.
It's not happening.
It isn't?
Well, what is happening is the Illinois River Valley Festival at Three Sisters Park. So I don't know. It's new, and I know the organizers, and their plan is that this is going to be, they want this to be the new Heart of Illinois Fair, because the Heart of Illinois Festival it's long gone. It's put a fork in it. It's done.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that this idea will be smoking hot.
I am too.
Smoking hot.
No, I am too. I think the Illinois River Valley Festival, hats off to the organizers, hats off to Three Sisters Park. And they'll have a carnival, they'll have a fair, they'll have activities. I think they're going to do some livestock shows. It hopefully will restore what we've lost at Expo Gardens.
Could be a moving experience.
Oh.
You gotta know when to quit, man.
Full of it today, aren't we?
Yeah, I know. That's the best we can do on a Monday morning. Well, any other weather-related news? Any sports news? I know you're a sports nut. Are you following the World Cup?
Oh, absolutely. I'm following the World Cup. I love it. I absolutely love it. We had
love it.
Yeah, my wife's cousin attended the USA-Australia game.
Ooh, really?
In Seattle.
Where was that?
Yeah.
Seattle, that's right. Because your wife is from the West Coast, isn't she?
Yes, the Pacific Northwest.
Limbaugh used to say the left coast.
Parts of it very much so. Yeah. Seattle is like a uber super duper left. There's no hope for the politics in that city. They're so
They're the lost cause.
Yeah, the
backwards.
Space Needle.
But yeah. But I tell you what, you want to see American pride? You pull up videos of those games, be it Los Angeles when they were at SoFi or Seattle. There was a great moment after the game ended where they all sang John Denver's "Country Roads Take Me Home."
Oh
Yeah, I did see a clip of that. That was really, that brings goosebumps.
It does. It was absolutely incredible. And that acoustics of that stadium is so unique and special because it's very well designed. And, it was really, really cool.
Well,
so,
Kyle,
go
you're
USA and around the 32 going.
You're unique and special, but we have to break for the headlines. I wish we had more time to visit with you because you're always a delight. People like who you are and what you are.
Can I give one more quick shout out?
No, we don't have time for it. I'm sorry, we don't have time for it.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Right,
no, go ahead. I'm just pulling your leg.
No, my dad wanted me to give kudos to the staff at the Peoria Civic Center Theater. I know David Price works there, as well as a number of hosts of other people that are ushers. But they went to the Irish show Thursday night at the theater, and they got there early because Dad was going to use his electric scooter because he doesn't get long distances and worried about parking far away. But they got a handicapped spot really close. And then the staff, the side my folks sat on, there's no ramp, there's steps. And so they actually carried my dad's scooter down the steps. They lifted up and carried it down the steps for him.
Wow.
Because we got him really good seats. Yeah, so hats off to the Peoria Civic Center and the Civic Center Theater. Amazing staff, just another wonderful blessing we have in Peoria.
You bet.
And, keep filling those theaters and keep filling those seats. And with staff like that, it left for a great, great impression. And Dad was so touched by it. He asked me personally to make sure to mention it on the radio. So
there you go.
Yeah, it's like an old rug. You can't beat it. It's wonderful people. Thank you, Kyle.
Amen.
Appreciate it. By the way, what'd you do with the 2 dozen donuts that were left over?
Oh, they're in my trunk right now. I'm taking them to the office. So.
Oh, boy, I bet they're going to be delicious.
Out there in that
all
trunk.
kinds of things crawling in your trunk. It's
not
okay
a German car.
it's okay to put it in the back seat of your Mercedes.
Oh, it's not a Mercedes. It's a German car, but it's not a Mercedes.
It's an Audi.
Well,
it's Audi.
I just wanted to point out how wealthy you are.
All right, that's enough.
He's an insurance guy.
All right, Kyle, we'll let you go.
God's been good, Roger.
You bet. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Did he sneeze?
All right, let's get into our final newscast. Medical Transport of Central Illinois bringing you the news this morning. They've been helping people since 1991, and we're talking about the men and women of AMT. They've been saving lives and taking care of people with paramedics and EMTs for that matter. AMT serves 65 communities with 54,000 emergency calls a year. They're busy folks. When seconds count on Advanced Medical Transport of Central Illinois. When it comes to our news, you can count on Terry Chamberlain.
Well, despite this ceasefire and the 60-day memorandum of understanding with Iran, all is not well in the Middle East. Hezbollah terrorists killed 4 Israeli soldiers and 5 others were wounded in multiple attacks in southern Lebanon. Airstrikes by Israel killed 18 people and injured many others. President Trump is still hopeful to bringing an end to the war with Iran. It appears Iran has hopes as well, as they sent an unprecedented team of negotiators for talks in Switzerland. The team includes security, legal, and financial experts, along with senior oil and energy officials. Team USA consists of Vice President J.D. Vance, Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner. The 2 countries held talks for over 10 hours yesterday and have resumed already today. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham is predicting the talks will fail, and Trump will resume bombing Iran while taking control of the Strait of Hormuz. Graham applauded Trump for trying a diplomatic solution, but believes Iran will not surrender their rights to enrich uranium with the goal of eliminating the Jewish population of Israel. It was a big opening for the President Barack Obama Presidential Center in Chicago last week. We heard from former Congressman Ray LaHood earlier this morning, who, along with his wife, got a special invitation to be there for the grand opening. He said it was a very, very impressive facility and an impressive event. Over the weekend, Chicago police report the shooting deaths of 7 people and the wounding of 36 others. Associated Press defended the shootings by saying crime rates in the Windy City have generally dropped over the past few years. 192 people were murdered in Chicago in the first 6 months of last year, and to date, only 182 this year, but we do have 8 days
They're making progress.
to go. Tomorrow night, Peoria City Council members will discuss a proposal from the Peoria Police Department to hire 6 unarmed community service members to patrol the downtown area at an annual cost of $500,000. The personnel would have no police powers, no weapons, and no authority to make arrests. They would, however, monitor potential trouble spots and incidents. And those are the headlines, Roger.
All right, now let's check the weather with John Meisinger. Brought to you by Hometown Community Bank's division, Morgan Community Bank. 50 hometown locations in Central Illinois to serve you. Look for the clock tower, and you'll know they have time for you. Member FDIC. There's Johnny.
Well, thanks, Roger. I appreciate you saying my name before you did the plug, because that way I was prepared.
Yeah, it gave you a little time.
Gave me a little time to be ready this
well,
time.
We aim to please.
Well, yeah, we would like for you to aim. That's for sure. A flood warning continues for residents and businesses on the Illinois River for Peoria, Tazewell, and Woodford counties. We currently are at 19.8 feet with flood stages and even 18. We could reach about 20.2 feet by Thursday, and Kyle agreed with that. Weather-wise, it'll be sunny today with a high of 77. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 55. Tomorrow, sunny and high about 79. Wednesday, sunny with a 40% chance of afternoon showers, high of 80. Thursday will be sunny and 80. And currently, we have 84% humidity with winds out of the north at 9 miles per hour. 61 degrees, and we're looking at an 8:33 sunset, and days are getting shorter from now on till we get to December 22nd.
Yeah, and there you have the weather. Did he say it was, did Kyle say it was raining now? Because where our studio is, we don't know what's going on.
It's cloudy.
Yeah, okay. You know, we were talking about the difference between the shooting first 6 months of last year and
this year.
6
so
years,
far,
yeah. We have someone on assignment in Chicago to give us a report, and they asked they not be identified. Sir, can you tell us what's going on?
Sir?
Sir?
Oh. Are you there?
Could
Uh-oh.
oh. Apparently.
Having some problems with his car backfiring. Except for the thuds I heard afterwards.
What was that? Thank you for that on-the-scene report from Chicago. Brought to you by the campaign to re-elect J.B. Pritzker. By the way, what was the conversation about John Denver and Take Me Home, Country Roads?
I think that did both teams not sing that song, or
I don't know.
Was it Kyle who mentioned it?
Kyle mentioned it,
Yeah.
yes. And I did see a clip of it, but I didn't pay attention to who was singing it.
Yeah. Well, I know it's a great song.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place
song. Did you like that song? What year are we talking about?
In the 70s.
I'm thinking 74.
75, mid-70s, I'm guessing. I don't really know.
You don't really know?
No. Because it's not on your computer.
71.
71? Oh, that's way earlier than I thought.
Yeah. You know he had a daughter? Did you know that?
He and his wife adopted kids.
Jessie Bell, I think one of them was.
I remember her name. Jessie Bell Duchendorf. That's his real name, isn't it?
Yes.
Not Denver?
Correct.
I wonder why he didn't call himself Colorado instead of that. Why did he choose Denver?
Yeah, it's a little
Colorado.
shorter.
Do you remember, for 10 points, who played the part of Colorado in the Western movie with John Wayne? His name was Colorado. I don't have the answer.
I don't either.
I have no idea.
Okay, well, thanks for that.
Smartest kid in the class said, I don't know. And the athlete said, me neither.
That's right. On paper, on the test.
Yeah, it was. You're exactly right. The country wrote, great singer. And he was the one that made his own airplane and
Yeah, and then-
left out a part and wound up
Yeah.
running out of gas.
Wondered
and,
what that bolt was in the last.
Yeah. How old was he when he hit the turf? And I mean, hit the turf.
Literally.
Big time, yeah.
Gosh, I'd say he's in his 40s.
Oh, no, he was...
Was he older than that?
Yeah, he was older than that.
I don't know. He always looked like a
60.
little boy to me.
Oh, I agree. And a smart little boy. You know, he had those wire rim
glasses. Funny, silly wabbit.
Yeah. This portion of the program brought to you by Walt Disney and Bugs Bunny.
Elmer Fudd.
No, that was Porky Pig, wasn't it? Take me home.
Yes, that was
that's all,
Porky.
folks.
Yeah, I don't know.
What was the difference between that song and Rocky Mountain High? Wasn't that a big hit by
Yes,
John
it
Denver?
was.
Yes.
Yeah. The difference is in the title.
And the state.
And the song.
The state they sang about.
right.
Yeah, just a few different. Did you find out how old he was
He was
when he passed
53.
Oh,
53.
53.
Oh, gosh, he never looked like he was in his 50s ever. One of those guys that couldn't buy booze when he was in high school, right?
Yeah, kind of like me.
Yeah, you're one of the lucky ones too.
And where was he born and raised?
He was born in Roswell, New Mexico.
Okay.
But he traveled everywhere as a kid because his dad,
His dad was in the Air Force.
Oh, that's right.
You know,
No.
so
Outstanding singer, and I don't think he ever performed at the Civic Center, did he?
I don't know.
I don't think.
Good one.
I don't know.
All I know is he was a great singer.
He was born in southern his 27th year, coming home to a place he'd never been before. He left yesterday behind him, you might say he was born again. You might say he found the key for every door. When he first came to the mountains, his life was far away. On the road, hanging by a song. But the string's already broken, and he doesn't really care. It keeps changing fast, and it don't last for long. The Colorado Rocky Mountain High, I've seen it rain and fire in the sky. Shadows from the starlight.
Oh,
played at the Peoria Civic Center twice.
John Denver did?
Yes, once in June of '82, so shortly after it opened, and then once in November of '93 for a Christmas tour on that one. So I'm surprised you didn't go, Roger.
Yeah, I am surprised I didn't go either. I don't know why. I didn't make
You
it.
didn't want to go, obviously. So
82, I can see I didn't go because I wasn't here in 82.
You were up north doing your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't. But the funny thing is, he's here twice, and neither one of us remembered that he was even here.
Yeah. And what year did you say he was there?
1982, in June or July of '82. So.
Well, he was outstanding singer, no question about that.
Very good.
Yeah. When you talk about guys playing the guitar and singing, it's hard to beat this guy.
It would have been leader of the band. Because what that meant to my father and to me,
Dan Fogelberg.
there's no way I could quantify that or even explain it. My father passed away over 10 years ago now, and he got to hear that song. He got to see this, enjoy the success of that song. People were calling him on the phone and interviewing him in his last days. You know, who is this man, the leader of the band, you know? And he loved that, and I loved that, because I respected him so much. I mean, he gave me everything I am, really. My mother and he were both musicians, and the idea of being a living legacy is really the truth. I don't think I'll ever be as accomplished a musician as he was, but I've had a different gift. It came to me in a different way. I've been able to reach and touch people with these songs that I write. And that one has probably touched more people more deeply than anything I've ever done.
Son. His hands were meant for different work, and his heart was known to none. He left his home and went his lone in solitary way, and he gave to me a gift I know I never can repay. Simple fate. He tried to be a soldier once, but his music couldn't wait. He yearned his love through discipline, a thundering velvet hand. His gentle means of sculpting souls took me years to understand. The leader of the land is time. His eyes are growing old, but his blood runs through my instrument, and his soul is in my soul.
He came to
But life has been a
did he not? At least once, if not maybe twice.
Oh, I'm just
so for on Monday morning, we don't know a whole lot.
To the leader of the band.
Information here, which is usually.
You know, interestingly, I knew his father primarily because he was band director at Woodruff High School when I was a student there, Lawrence Fogelberg. Mm-hmm. And then Pekin lured him over with more money to Pekin.
Oh, did they really? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he was band director at Pekin High School and then became band director at Bradley University as well. I got somewhat acquainted with him as a patient when I was working at Methodist. He was a patient. He had a heart problem, and I remember seeing both he and his wife, Margaret, who worked in the Service League gift shop, so I knew her. I tried a couple times to get a hold of her later in life. She lived on California Avenue in a very modest home. I guess she was just happy living modestly, even though her son was quite wealthy. Had a house in Colorado and had a house, I believe, in Maine or New Hampshire on the East Coast. And she was a lovely lady. I didn't know until that interview that we played that she was a musician as well.
I didn't realize that either. Now, he did play at the Civic Center in October of '97, but he's played many times at the band shell. Imagine that.
At the Glen Oak?
Glen Oak Band Shell.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. Didn't I? Yeah. And you know, that was real close to where
That's
he
his
sang the
neighborhood.
song
Right, yeah.
about
Very close to where he met
Auld Lang Syne.
the girl.
Old Lang Syne at that In and Out.
That you would
couldn't
never
be
know.
No.
I mean, you look at
No.
that now and say, wow.
Yeah, what a dump. I don't know what you say, but I say, what a dump.
Good thing they're not our
But
sponsors.
but you said twice he was at the Glen Oak Amphitheater?
Well, it said many times, so maybe counting the times that he was just up and coming. Who knows? But the other time he was at the Civic Center Theater, where they called an iconic acoustic show.
Yeah. Well, he could sing, no question about that.
The song leader of the band cemented our relationship. There was nothing left unsaid when he passed away.
There's some people who are big fans of his, and they've done something along the riverfront to memorialize him.
Right.
A big rock or a big park, not a big park, but some area that's been
It's on
assigned.
Grandview Drive,
Yeah.
isn't it? Or was it down
No, it's on the
No,
riverfront.
it's down on the riverfront
Yeah.
by the old old train depot where that turnstile is. I think it's down in that area, or down by Detweiler.
Well, it's
somewhere.
near the bridge, Murray Baker Bridge, under the bridge.
Okay. Under the bridge.
In a van.
Yeah.
That's right. In a van down by the river.
Down by the riverfront, and
He also-
and they're going to build an amphitheater down there. So Peoria will be unique. It'll have two amphitheaters. One in Glen Oak Park that's never used except during the summer. Don't the members of the Peoria Municipal Band, under the direction of David Roman?
I think they got rained out last night, though. I didn't.
You didn't.
I would imagine they got rained out a little bit last night. It was pretty rainy.
Have they started the summer?
Yes.
Oh, they have.
Yeah, I guess so. I haven't been.
Well,
I
you
know that you've
have a
been.
bunch of musicians playing during a storm, and suddenly the song "You Light Up My Life" takes on a new meaning.
Well, they did a lot of covering
Yeah.
up on Friday night at the party too. They
They
would
sure
cover
did.
their stuff, they'd uncover it, and then they
And they
cover it
cover it
again,
again.
and because it would rain little bits
And,
off and
yeah,
on
thank
the
goodness
whole
it never
night.
poured.
No.
Yeah.
But
No.
it was enough that it's like, eh.
Yeah.
And Josh Bradshaw, by the way,
He did a wonderful
wonderful
job.
job.
Really?
Yes.
You
Yes,
know,
he did.
I got to get him back on and tell him. Well, I'm going to tell him, bring your guitar. Maybe he told me it, and because I don't take prevention, I forgot. Maybe he did tell me that he played the guitar.
Yeah, he
Did he
did.
sing?
Yeah.
As
Yes,
well?
he did a
No
nice job.
kidding.
Yes.
I'll be
And then he
doggone.
helped with the proclamation, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, I'll be doggone. Well, I screwed up again.
No, you didn't.
All right, we're out of here. In more ways
Okay.
than one. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
And Terry, and tomorrow it'll be Mike Olson and Terry, and a brand new program called Breakfast with Roger and Mike and
Terry.
Yes. I heard every Tuesday morning. Have a great day, everybody. And take an umbrella. I think that would be helpful.
Yep,
In
62
the
degrees
meantime,
right now, Roger.
Thank you kindly. Have a great day, everybody. Remember, God loves you, and so do we. See you tomorrow.